Because it is not everybody that touches the Ark of Covenant. They are people that are dedicated to the service. Do you remember when David was bringing the Ark of Covenant from Jerusalem to his own city? I've forgotten the name of his own city, or from one city to Jerusalem. I've forgotten. He was in a cart, in a chariot. Now they were dancing, he was happy, they were clapping and dancing, singing. And the ark, the horses, they stumbled and wanted to fall, as if the ark wanted to fall. One man that want to do good, but he's not a Levite. He wanted to help the fallen ark, which is good also. But you know, in spiritual issues, spirits don't have no forgiveness. You must suffer the consequence. If they tell you don't do A, or do A before B, you don't go and do B before A, you suffer the consequence. That man is not one of the Levites. He's not, you know, he shouldn't touch the ark under normal circumstance. But he want to do good and help stabilize the chariot. He fall down. They say he was struck immediately and he died. Listen, I'm coming. I want to drive some points. And he died immediately. David was upset and he was afraid. He said, oh, this ark that before they kill somebody because of the ordinary touching, even correction. If they bring it in my house, which means all my family is, we will finish. For you to understand that that thing you call God, that entity you call God, you don't know him. You don't know how he thinks. Never. Stop being deceived by people that tell you God called them in a telephone. They communicate with God in this and that. That is rubbish, because you don't even know who is God. You don't know how he thinks. You don't know how he behaves. You don't know what he is. He acts in his own way, which you cannot even understand as human beings. Now that man, he was killed, and David, being smart man, now he said, okay, he ordered, they said, please don't carry the thing to my house again. They carried the Ark of Covenant to even a foreigner, whether he Hittite. Say, let him die with his, perish with his family. And the ark was there, and the blessings came there. Do you see? So those that say, oh, they know the will of God, they know God. You don't know God, or you are just deceiving yourself, because you don't know how God acts. He can act anyhow. He can act like a white wind. He can act like a very quiet person. He can act anyhow. That entity. So let me continue. Now, the Kohanim, that is a priest, a subset of Levites. We are the priests who perform the work of holiness in the temple. The Levites, referring to those who we are not Kohanim, that is priests. We are specifically assigned to one, singing and or playing music in the temple, serving as guards and carrying sacred objects, including the Ark of Covenant. When Joshua led the Israelites into the land of Canaan, the sons of Levi, we are the only Israeli tribe that received the cities, but we are not allowed to be landowners, because the Lord of the God of Israel, the God of Israel himself is their inheritance. Okay. These Levites were respected till today. In modern times, Levites are integrated in Jewish communities but kept a distinct status. There are estimated 300,000 Levites among Ashkenazi Jews. Ashkenazi Jews, for your information, are mostly from the northern side, like Germany, Yiddish, all this side, Poland, all this side, they are the Ashkenazi. Whereas the Sephardi are those from the Iberian Peninsula, the Iberia side of Europe. Whereas you have what they call the Mizrahi Jews. These are the Jews in the Middle East. The Jews that have been there in the Middle East. So that is the thing. You know, as we are dispersing all over the world, we are virtually in every part of the world. You understand me? Maybe a time we come, they will divide us and call different names. Those that in a Western bloc, they call them names. Those are in Eastern bloc, they call us names. They describe us with names. Now, let me continue. Now, in modern times, Levites are integrated in Jewish communities, but kept a distant status. There are estimated 300,000 Levites among Ashkenazi Jewish communities, and a similar number among Sephardic and Mizrahi Jewish combined. The total percentage of Levites among the wider Jewish population is about 4%. Orthodox and conservative Judaism, which believes in a restoration of the temple as a house of worship and in some special role for Levites, recognizes Levites as having special status. This is a modern time, I'm telling you. There are a smaller number of schools primarily in Israel to train priests and Levites in their respective roles. Do you understand? These people adjusted to the modern era by establishing a training school for the Levites, which wasn't the case originally. Do you understand? Do you see how human beings, we can change things, we can adjust, and into modernity, we can adjust with time, but not losing focus of our values. That is what I'm teaching you here. I'm telling us here. You understand? Before, do you read in the Bible where they have schools for Levites? But today they have schools in Israel, because they maintain that value till today. They respect those people and give them special status. In some cases, they even exempt them from serving in military compulsory military services because they are Levites. People, I'm coming, please. Today in Israeli culture, to honor the Levites, especially Levites' special status, the second layer of the Torah services is traditionally preserved for someone who is a Levite. In synagogues, where the Kohanim, that is, priests, offer a priestly blessing, sometimes a Levite will wash the hands of the Kohen first. That is his job, because he is dedicated to the service of God. In honor of the traditional role of Levites washing the hands of the priests in the temple. Now, when we come to our land, listen, because I brought this thing in order to analyze, compare to our land. Okay, in our land today, we have what we call Osu caste system, Osu, which we demonize. Please listen attentively. This Osu, right from time, has been demonized by our people. The Osu caste system is a traditional practice in Igbo land that it discourages, according to their definition. Oh, according to their definition, I will tell you why I say so. Listen, according to their definition, they want us to believe. The Osu caste system is a traditional practice in Igbo land that discourages social interaction and marriage with a group of persons called Osu. Osus are dedicated to the deities. Do you see? In the case of white people, the Jews, they say, oh, they are people of God, the Levites. But in our own, they say they are dedicated to the deities. Okay, let us take it like that. Alosi in Igbo land, yes? They are considered as inferior beings and usually separated from Wadiala or Diala. Oh, Chineke. Do you see? Let me ask you, because we ask, we should think. Common sense should come into play in some cases. In this case, I want people listening to my voice. Let me read what they describe Osu to be. You understand? In the Levite system in Israel, it is still happening, it is still there. They respect them, they honor them to the extent the government even recognize them. Sometimes exempts them from, voluntary, compulsory military services. They perform the duties because they are the people dedicated to God, their God. Okay, the God of Israel. Okay, very nice. But in our own, they say also there are people dedicated to deities. In Igbo land. Do you see how when you hear it, it sounds very primitive and negative? Do you see it? Now, they are considered as inferior. Now, my question is this: how can someone dedicated to a deity be regarded as inferior? Because I want people common sense to intervene here. These people, they say they are dedicated to deity. Now, how can you refer to somebody or a group of people dedicated to deity as inferior? It's a question I want people to answer. Whereas the people turn to the same deity in times of trouble and crisis. If there is problem, you go to deity, to that deity, that Allah say for deity. But the people, excuse me, but the people that are dedicated, that are performing all these things, now you tell them that they are inferior. Don't you see that there is something wrong? There is something that we never know, we never understand. There is something they are not telling us. Okay. How can you refer to pastors, modern day pastors, reverend fathers, sisters, Buddhist monks, Muslim imams and sheikhs of these modern times as inferior? Though people are less religious in this era. It's just like, okay, all those time, okay, let us assume they are dedicated to deity. For what? That is a question you should ask yourself. Now, if really they are okay, they are serving the deity, now they are inferior. The same way you see pastors, do you see how men of God, pastors and bishops are respected today? Imams, clergy, all types of clergy, sheikh. Look at Sheikh Gumi. He is respected everywhere because he is, according to their own belief, they are dedicated to the service of their God or Allah, anything you call it, to the deity. It's a deity. Do you understand? But in our own case, they made us turn ourselves, turn our history, bend it so that we see it as evil, and we start looking down on them. How can you say people that are dedicated to the service of a deity, they are inferior? This is where I cannot understand. That is where I want us to explore more, please. Since the introduction of modernization in Igbo land, the Osu caste system has been criticized by people who feel it is against human rights to freedom from discrimination. According to some human rights groups who are calling for its abolishment, some of the punishments meted out against the Osu in Igbo land include parents administering poison to their children, disinheritance, ostracism, that is sending exile. Or ostracism, you can be in a village but no person talks to you. Okay. Denial of membership in social clubs, violent disruption of marriage ceremonies, denial of chieftaincy titles. Remember, chieftaincy titles came with the British, with the advent of the British in our land. We didn't have anything like chieftaincy titles. The privation of property and expulsion of wives. Okay, listen. On 20th March 1956, Igbo legislators in the Eastern House of Assembly, Enugu, abrogated the then common practice of referring to people as Osu. But did that stop Osu? Did that stop? The answer is no. Because we never really understand what this Osu. We never really, and the question I want to ask, if this thing is really bad to us, do you think that the British will allow the Eastern Assembly to now abrogate a law to ban it? Do you think that people that colonize us, that want us, that want us dead? Let me tell you, there is something so deep there we don't understand. That is why instead of demonizing these Osu people, we need to make more researches in order to find out, are they not the Levites of our land? Or anywhere they are, since Arochukwu fell, many of them ran to different communities where many of them are referred to as Osu. Do you understand me? I want us, you listening to my voice, our intellectuals, we should go into deep research about this, because they have deceived us enough. They have made us to lose focus, to be in a dilemma, to start fighting something that we should manage, something that is very good to our living. But they made us to be fighting against it. Now, as history may have it, the Osu caste system has been abolished also on 28 December 2018 after 1956 abrogation of that Osu, or to no avail. In 2018, a ceremony conducted in Iri, the acclaimed ancestral home of Igbo nation, in Aniocha local government area of Anambra State. The title of the abolition ceremony was Nigeria, Osu caste system in Igbo land ends today. But did it stop it? The answer is no. Also on 7th April 2021, another abolition ceremony took place in Nsukka, Enugu, as 119 villages in the 9 autonomous communities in Nsukka town, Nsukka local government area of Enugu, gathered to eradicate the Nsukka system in their communities. These are efforts in futility. Did it stop Osu today? The answer is no. Different views have been made. Listen, different views have been made on this outrageous topic. The Osu caste system is a practice in Igbo land where some people are tagged second-class citizens as against the firstborn, the freeborn, and therefore are denied the certain privileges enjoyed by those who are called freeborn. In this sense, second-class citizens are not allowed to marry a freeborn and are not qualified to take certain traditional titles which are exclusively reserved for the freeborn. However, listen here, because this is where I want to bring out. However, different opinions or views on the subject matter have been made by different people, making it impossible for the true evolution of the Nsukka system in Igbo land to be understood. And it indicates that the majority of Igbo people in the present generation do not have evidence that prove when the Nsukka system came into practice in Igbo land. That is where I want to pinpoint. Because all these things they are talking, oh, Osu is this, they are not freeborn, they are this and that, but they still exist. Look at wherever they are. The people you call Osu, they progress more and more, even more than the other people. Don't you ask yourself why? Don't you ask yourself why? It may be that they are the Levites. I'm telling you honestly. Because when Arochukwu fell, Aro Shrine, which the Europeans call long juju, they dispersed. The people there, the selected people for the service of our Chukwokike, all of them, they dispersed. Now, Europeans went into work in order to demonize that these people are inferior. They were serving deities, they were dedicated to deities, and that then caught up with us. And we started, I know we started making mess, saying, oh, these people, they are no this, and people that should be proud that they are serving, they are at the forefront, they are the bearers of the Ark of Covenant in our land. Now we demonize them. Is it not when things fall apart? Can't we think everything is not direct, everything is not black and white? There are other colors. Do you understand? That is what I want to provoke for people to go into research, because even as it is written, they say no person understands, the origin of this Nsukka system. Nobody. All these things are speculations. Oh, those who they are dedicated to Abara, this and that. This might be the Levites of our land. Watch all of them. Anywhere you see them, they are progressive more in every community, more than others. You understand? And you still call them, our mumu should do. You understand? Sometimes we go back. Instead of going ho as the program was to be. Look at in 1956, during the time of colonization even. Is it not Britain that provoked them to go and start, pursuing shadow? The senators of the eastern senators in Enugu started abrogating us instead of making more studies to understand what is this. It's not normal. There is something that is profound that is there. In Israel today, they respect the Levites because they are the people in charge. They are the people that should touch the things that others cannot touch, holy things. They are proud to be there. But in our own, they program us in order to demonize them. You understand? Nwada, please, before I continue, come in, please, Nwada.
Okay, Mazi. This is an interesting topic. Before I start, I'm going to say this. The way I'm going to qualify this topic we are trading today, or we're about to trade the caste system, we must first, we have several of them. We can have about 4 or 5, depends on the community. Like my community, we have the Usu, of course. We have the Uhu, which is the slave. We have the Lolo, which are people like for some reason, maybe they committed some atrocity in their place, and they send them on exile. They can voluntarily go to another place where they don't know them and settle there, and where nobody knows their story, and then they are called Lolo. That is the strangers of visitors. And once they start staying there, they start having their children. Their children are part of society. And then we have Ume. You know, I think I mentioned about 4 or 5. Yeah. So, but what we're treating, what you raise now, we're treating is Osu, which is called outcast. Before I proceed, I would like us to find out the dictionary meaning of that word, caste. Caste. And caste is the verbal meaning of caste is to set things apart. Like put something, it's active word. Let me put it this way. When it comes to, I said, light or shadow to appear on a surface. You know, you cast a shadow or light on something. You know, like when we say the moon casts a pale light over the cottage. When you see the reflection of the moon light when it's dark, it will cast a shadow of the person. You know, when, or even the sun casts a shadow when the sun is setting. So like in the night when you are walking and there's a full moon, you will see your shadow. It's that moon that is casting your shadow, you know, which is a reflection of who you are, because that's what the shadow is. Shadow is our reflection. So, but what I'm going to, where I'm coming in to treat this topic is, let us look at it now, the meaning of it when it comes to now. How do we use it? He said an object made by shaping molten metal or similar material in a mold. Bronze cast of the sculpture, a mold used to make an object by casting it. The artist cast and molds became the property of the museum. A replica is a replica, a model, representation, mock-up, imitation, reproduction, duplicate, an act of throwing something forcefully. He grabbed a space. So, but I'm not going there. So what am I saying? The caste system has been twisted upon, you know, on its head. Like you started when you were, before you segue into it. The Osu are supposed to be people that are supposed to be humble, supposed to be appreciated. Because like some of the examples you gave, when you come to British monarch, the British monarch is like an Osu. They are cast, because that's why I read the meaning. They are set aside. It's only of recent that they're even allowed to marry what you call a commoner. Pay attention. The commoner are the majority of the population. But this particular group of people are set aside. That is why I read the meaning of caste. Set aside. They were set aside to do a purpose, to make sure that the kingship is protected. And let us go back and remember, before we got into what we call democracy and all this modern way of leadership or government, the king was always the head of the spiritual aspect of the society. So they're woven together. When you're a king, even in the Bible you read, the king was the spiritual leader at the same time. He wasn't just to rule the people. So he is somebody that had to intercede on the spiritual and the physical leadership of the society. So now, what has happened to us is that when they came to us, the colonial masters, instead of using what was supposed to benefit us, they turned it upside down, because all they were interested in was divide and rule. So they looked, first of all, they looked at our own way of religion. They told us it was that. Once they were able to tell us that our way of worshipping Chukwukika was that, it was easy to manipulate the rest of the people. Because it wasn't like this before. And I'm going to speak from the strength of where I come from. People have always had me say I'm from Umunoha. For those who may not, Umunoha is a very small place. For those who may not really know where Umunoha is, Some of them have heard about Umunoha. Umunoha is where you have the deity still existing today called Igwekala. 1 or 2 times when I speak with you, you hear me say, Amawumadi Igwekala. Okay, Chebi Seneri. So that's where in my town is where we have that deity Igwekala. Now, in my place, the Osu we have 2 kinds of Osu. One is Osu Igwekala, because I want all to understand what this Osu is. Osu Igwekala. When people were active coming from all over, like anybody you hear that answers Osu Igwe, Mwi Igwe, whatever, go and make research. The parents of that person came to Igwekala before that child was conceived. Because Igwekala will tell you to call that child, that name. Mba Igwe, all that time, you know. So, but anyway, so there's a set, this little tiny village, you know, it's only 5 villages. But out of that 5 villages, there's one, you don't call them a village, which would have made Umunoha 6 villages. These people are called Umuaza Leke. They are the Osu Igwe. What do you mean? When that deity was established, it was only them, they were given the right. It was only them that learned the act, the way, the right way to perform rituals. For anybody that wants to go to that Igwe, they were the overseers of Igwe. When you come to go to that deity, you must go to Umuaza Leke and do all the rituals, okay, and then go there. Now, Osu is, if you want to really understand the meaning of Osu, because I've talked about the caste, Osu is something that is set aside, and that person undergoes a training. The person has an understanding on how to do a ritual or perform a job through dedication. They continue to dedicate their lives and their ways to make sure to protect a particular thing. Example I will give you is when you have somebody, you're a medical doctor because you just went to school to become a medical doctor. But there are people who go and get their doctorate degree. They went and obtained their doctorate degree because out of passion of that particular subject, even as a medical doctor, you can still go and do your PhD. Because of your passion, you want to be in a position to even research more, be dedicated in that. You're different from somebody who is just a regular medical doctor who just want to practice to somebody who went and obtained PhD in medicine. That person has a more passion. The person wants to continue to research, continue to maintain that, you know, this thing you are interested in. That's how you must look at Osu. Because you might be able to separate the Osu caste system from Eze. Like you rightly say, Eze is the leader. But the Osu are the people that, even when a society has, like somebody has sinned in a society or committed Meruala, is the Osu people were the right people, because all they do is make sure that the law of the land, Omenala, are being maintained, Omenala are being taken care of. If somebody commits Meruala, it's the Osu that will come and perform the rituals. That is why, just like the Levites were set aside to be praying, that's the job of the Osu people. So these are people that we should have appreciated. And when you go in Igbo land, you will find out that Osus are Osuaroshi. What do you mean? Gods. That's why you see them near, their residents are very close to a market in that particular town. Why? Remember that our market days, Nkwo, Eke, Orie, Afo, were named after the 4 spiritual elements, according to our cosmology, mythology, I mean to say, that holds the earth, or through which Chukwokike Abiyama was able to create. These 4 elements, Nkwo, Eke, Orie, Afo, they are spirits that holds, or through which, you know, guides the physical earth. So that is why our market days were named after these 4 elements or spirits or forces. Now, these Osu people, that is why they live very close to the market, because they are dedicated to that particular market, which is the spirit that is named after the market. Now, like in my place, our own is called Oriamigwe, Orie. So you see our Osu live very close to that market. If you go back and check the way our people were trading, let me give an example, like the towns that are close to us. The way they traded in those days, The 4 market days, the close communities will split it among themselves. Our own was Orie. Our market day was Orie. It's still Orie. We have what we call Mazi Orodo. Orodo took Nkwo Orodo. That's the day we have to do their own, because the whole idea was the whole communities around. 4 communities around will be, going from one market to another, appreciating or trading on those 4 market days, but not individually. When it's Ori, all of them will come to Ori Amigwe. When it's Orodo, on Nkwo day, all of them will go to market at Nkwo day. That will be the big day. Then Afo Umaka, and then Nkwo somewhere, I can't remember that. So that's how it was done. So these people were supposed to be the keepers and those who make sure that even when they were going to war, their job will be to stay and make sure that all the rituals are performed before the warriors will go to war. They are the people that prepare the warriors, make sure that we are fortified, stay at home, continue to do rituals. But before I even start, I wanted to say, before I continue with my lesson, I want to give a very big kudos to Mazi Chinedu for the recent graduation of our warriors. Because I don't know, Mazi, when you tapped me for this, after we spoke a little bit, I begin to ask myself, is this a coincidence? I don't know. Because I saw that, I don't know whether it's for the first time, I stand to be corrected. But I believe that in ESN, this is the first time that a section of our ESN graduated as the Levites, the prayer warriors. They are in there, I saw it. So, you see how things are coming together. So, like we are going to these are people that are supposed to be performing rituals and everything, because when you have these people that are supposed to be set apart, there are certain things they just cannot involve themselves in. They're supposed to be taken care of. But we're going to get into that later. So that's how the Osu system came to be. They're supposed to be special people, respected, honored. Again, and then we have another Osu, like I said, the one that goes to the Igwekala is different. They're different. But the one that for the community were kept near the market. Now, how did you increase the population of those who were Osu for the whole community? If for a reason like somebody does something bad and they are chasing the person, if the person runs into the Osu community and sits down, they will just come and and knock a gong, and the person has become Osu. So Osu was not really people that were all dedicated to the spirits to take care of the shrines initially. Some people voluntarily ran into there for safety, because they were not to be touched, they were not to be killed, they were to be highly respected and esteemed. But when they brought religion, that was when they begin to turn everything upside down. And instead of seeing these people as the keepers of the law, that's really what they were, a traditional law. Those who make sure everything is maintained, because they will do it on the letter. Because when you are establishing a deity, you go through the rituals. And when you come, anybody is coming to that deity, you must go through the same rituals without making a mistake. That is why the setting of the Osu system was very important. Let me give an example, because I have a little bit inclination, or I have a little bit my foot into spiritual works. I'm not going there. That's not why I'm here. Like now, if you have an instruction to take leaf A, put it in a pan before you take leaf B and put it in the same pan to get the action you need. And for some reason you forgot, or you didn't know, because you are given 2 leaves. You took the leaf you're supposed to put in the pan second and put it first. You have nullified the effectiveness of that medication you're preparing. And I'm going to give an example from the Bible. The children of Eli, the reason why they died, they were killed, was remember they are Levites. So they were what the children were doing at that time. They were supposed to be lighting the right incense. For every particular ritual, there was a particular incense that was supposed to be lit up. Mistakenly, they lit the wrong incense for the wrong ritual. That was just during they died. That's why I gave this example. So the job of the Levites is to make sure they sit down, learn the act, memorize it, transfer it from one generation to another, so that when the rituals are performed, there will be no mistakes. Because let me tell you, why it looks like you have a lot of DBS, so-called DBS or spiritualists in our land today, I'm talking about the traditional healers. Why it looks like some of the things they are doing, they don't come to be effective. They don't know the details. and they don't uphold all the laws, natural laws. When it comes to spiritualism, the laws are very, very, you must adhere to them. You cannot miss one bit. You must cross all your T's, dot all your I's as the instructions are given to you. You cannot, if you make one mistake, the whole action you're taking becomes nullified. So this is one of the things we must correct. This is what we are supposed to be glorified, respected, treated. In fact, they are carrying more spiritual glory than us. In the ancient days, we tell the Osu that are dedicating their services to the deities, the people, we are in trouble. So this is one of the things the British who colonized us used, disseminators. It looks like our gods are not hearing our prayers. It's not because they're not hearing our prayer, they don't want to hear our prayer. It may be that because we're not even performing the prayers through the right way, because we don't have the people who know the true knowledge or the right way to call our ancestors, and they will, do what we want them to do. So I'm going to stop here because I know I'm packing a lot. But before I go, I want us to touch about the cosmology of Igbo people, because that will help us. Because when you people want to just talk about the Bible, or when somebody like Mazi and some of us are talking about that people have lived in this world beyond what the Bible is telling you, I would like us to go and check on Google. There is a place called Ugwele in Igbo community in Uturu, Isukwato local government area. This place, there was an archaeological development or excavation or finding that proved that when they say we are Dindibo, it is a true statement of fact. A carbon dated has on those some metals that were found there established that the Igbos have lived in Nigeria, in this location where we are, for more than 250 years. About 500,000 years. I'm talking about 500,000 years, because the archaeology findings dated that those they were hand axes were made in as far back as 250,000 years. That is how we have been there. And then coming to the political side of it, we are keeping quiet for people who just are coming from the Potagelos to come on status. That is why Biafra must fight. We must restore our place, because our ancestors will never forgive us if we allow this movement not to come to be. I'm going to yield here for Mazi, because I think I've brought in a lot for now. As we continue to unfold, I have a lot to bring in. Thank you, Mazi.
Of course you do. Do not forget that we are talking about no religion is superior to other. And in that, we are discussing about upholding our values. We have a very rich value tradition, but the coming of the Europeans bastardized many things and confused us. And the problem was, the worst part of it is that we are not even making researches in order to find out the reality. We depend on white people to archaeologists, but we have our own archaeologists. We have intellectuals that should initiate things to find out really what happened. Because this programming, they programmed us to continue pursuing shadows, to continue fighting against ourselves. You cannot cut off your shadow from following you. It is impossible. It is an effort in futility. That is what they did to us. And they tell us different stories. Oh, this is a bad, this is also, this one is dedicated. I ask this question, but if people really are dedicated to our deities, is it not an honor? Because they must be performing some rites. There must be some works. Whereas we applaud the Levites. Oh, the Israeli Levites. Oh, no, didn't charge. Even the monks. Don't you see how the monks are revered? Even Christian monks that dedicate, they call themselves, they are dedicated to the service of God. Even the Buddhist monks, they are revered. They don't have any. They are dedicated. They are the people. When it comes to your tradition, your spiritual purity, they are the people to direct you, to lead and direct you. Is it not a thing of honor? But in our own case, they made us, start push us into demonizing the people. They say they dedicated to our deity. Now, oh, they are inferior. How do you think so? Commonsensically, how do you think so? Whereas when you have a problem, it is that deity you go.
They're superior. That is why I set aside, Mazi.
Yes.
It's just like what they wanted to do with DOS. They're coming to tell us to dishonor DOS, trying to let us to forget DOS, disband DOS. That's exactly what they did to the caste system. Our people did not realize that that was the pillar that held our spiritualism as far as our people and culture were concerned. So once they were able to dissuade people, convince them that instead of honoring these people, giving them respect, yes, you could tweak things, let it evolve as every other people were evolving. Just like we mentioned the British monarch, every monarch, if you go to Arab, the same thing. You go to anywhere, even within Nigeria where we are, the Obas have the priests who oversee the god or goddess of Ifa.
Yes.
They have them. These are dedicated priests in the temple. That's all they do. You go to Benin Kingdom, the same thing. Even the Hausas. We are the only tribe, even in that contraction, we are the only tribe that completely wiped our own system. And then every day we are calling Chukwu Okike Abama. You are calling Chukwu Okike Obiama. You are not doing the rituals. We don't even know what to do. Most of us don't even know how to even pray with the Oji. All of a sudden now, Oji hears English. All of a sudden now, they're baptizing Oji. People don't even know how to use Odo. They don't know how to use and when to use Nzu. They don't even know when to use Osoji. They don't even know when to and how to combine it. How many people know the benefit or the usages of Ogrishi, plantain leaves? We don't know. Even when you know, do you know the ceremony, the rituals, the details? Because it's not having the leaves. One is to have the leaf. One is to know exactly how to apply the leaves for them to be effective. You can have the leaf, somebody else who knows how to use it. So these were the people that were doing the job. So I believe the colonial masters, they knew. That was why they turned it upside down. And then once our people began to see them as unclean, unworthy, they were now angered and upset. That's divide and rule. So what did the same white people do? They began to bring them into church and telling them, you are accepted in the church. In Christianity, there is no division. But where the Christianity came in, even the Pope is set aside. In Vatican City is in Italy, but it's a state of its own. Does everything by itself. They're supposed to be the outcasts, the caste people, the people set aside to make sure to do the work of the spiritual part of the Italian government, Roman government or Italian government. Yes. It's the same set aside. It's the same spiritual work. But when they came to our own, they twisted it, turned it upside down, and we bought it hook, line, and sinker. The only race is Igbo race. Check it everywhere because I tried to do some research last night. It's only the Igbo race that allowed their own to be messed up. Put a wedge between us. Now, these our Osu brothers and sisters, whom we should have reverenced, thank them for their services, promoted them. Yes, if we need to modernize it, we modernize them, but we must keep it. What did we do? We begin to see them as something rural, something that is no good, and who would like to be bullied. So now we walk them into the hands of the colonial masters through Christian religion, and they turned everything against. Meanwhile, in the church, what do you call the reverend fathers? What do you call the reverend sisters? They are outcasts too, because they are doing the same job. They are set aside. They are not supposed to be married. They are dedicated to who? Jesus Christ, according to them. The same way our brothers and sisters who were of Osu caste were dedicated to the deities, our own God. Is it not the same thing? What's the difference? They are not to be married. Even in our own, they can be married. But in this place, they say they cannot be married. You see a reverend father, he has a ring in his hand. You see a reverend sister, she has a ring in her hand. They are telling you, I'm married to the deity. God. God is a deity. Jesus is a deity. Okay? According to their Bible, I'm not quoting all this. I'm not just saying them. So, why is it that when it comes to our own, it is wrong? But when they apply the same thing, it is okay. We must rise up and start thinking. The reverend fathers and the reverend brothers, just like the Pope is, you can consider him as the head of the Aroshi, the one that communicates with God. But this is what are they called? Even when you go there, I don't want to go too deep. When you go down, what do you call? You have people in the Catholic Church that call manservants. They are servants. But those people who are Reverend Fathers and Reverend Sisters, what are they called? Let the Catholic think about it. They are squarely and strictly dedicated to God. That God they worship, and that's why they have that ring, because it's simple that they were married. Why should our own be demonized? So what we're trying, somebody like me is trying to bring out that this is something we must go back and look and see how we can begin to re-establish. That is why I said I give every kudos to Mazi. I don't know how he got inspiration, but that will tell you that we're on the right trajectory. Chukwu Abiyama is about to restore and make himself strong in our lives.
Nwada. So the issue is this, the rhetorical question is this. If really this Osu is a bad thing for us as portrayed, or as we are made to believe, do you think that Britain would have allowed the then Igbo legislators in the Eastern House of Assembly, Enugu, in 1956 to abrogate it? Do you think so? The law to officially. Britain that wants us killed, they want us eliminated by all means. You know, sometime I said, look, if we Igbos can be intimidated, convinced into, into relegating ourselves, denying our identities, what else do you think that cannot happen to us? I say, let me say it again. If we Igbos, our people, Igbos, some of us can be convinced in any way, pushed into denying who they are, then what else do you think? There is nothing impossible that cannot be done to us. I'm telling you honestly. So that is why we need to think deep. All these things, they push us to demonize. Oh, they are inferior. Osu is inferior. No, there is something there. There is something there they are not telling us. It is for us to find out, to make researches and find out. After all, we will find out that after all, it's not what they've told us. It is not the reality. What they told us is not the reality. The real fact. That Osu, they are this. How can people that are serving Iteiti become inferior? Reverend Fathers, you go to monasteries, they are people that dedicated their life. Catholic monasteries. You go to Buddhist monasteries, you see them, they are respected anywhere. They are respected by their people. Oh, these are the people of God. Even today, the GO is a kind of an outcast also, because he is the person that is in charge of the altar. That is what these Osus are. We need to make more researches. If really this Osu is a bad thing, the British.
It's not for the little I did. It's not. What we are describing here is because last night I have not really slept. I did a little bit of digging. It's not really. What I'm just telling you is what I dug out.
Of course. We challenge. We probe our mindset, our people to go more, to make more researches.
When they got into us and their group thinking begin to turn everything against itself, and the people bought into it. But let me put this out there, because I know how some people can think. I, Marian T. Haider, I am from Umunoha. Umunoha is a very small town. We have 5 villages. I am what you call Diala Okechi Ebisede Riwe. I am pure Diala. What am I trying to say? I don't want people to get it twisted that why I'm advocating for this, maybe I'm Osu, I will Osu, but I must stand on the truth. Part of the quality that rules me as an individual is I believe in fairness, justice, and equity. I believe I'm a very curious human being. I try to think. That's why most of the time I'm by myself. I'm a loner by nature, because that's the time I do a lot of thinking and I receive a lot of things. That's by the way. So I'm not an Osu. But this is something we must go back, because we have been robbed by, from different angles. Once you lose your spiritual identity or power, You are done as a group, as a person.
You are gone.
Yes, that's what they have done to us.
You don't see how we are gallivanting. You don't see that?
We are here falling we want an Igbo person to talk about who is your spiritual ancestor. He's talking about Abraham. He's talking about this, that. They don't know you. You don't have any inclination with them. Because that sand, that ground you're standing on, contains the spirit, both the spiritual and the biological and the physiological remnants of your ancestors. That is why Allah is very powerful. Because when you bury somebody, they turn into sand. So, and the spirits are still there. So that is why Allah is very powerful. You are standing on the ground where the remnant, the DNA, whatever you call it, the spiritual DNA of your ancestors are. And you're calling another person's ancestor, praying for them. That's an abomination. Very strong one, very big one. We must begin to find out, why is it our gods, it's like we are calling them from now till tomorrow, our ancestors, our chief. What happened? They didn't turn away from us. We left them. This is what we are bringing in. And the custodians, we have kicked them out. We have made them to say that they don't matter. So even if we go to, some of us want to perform some of these rituals, we don't even know the right thing to do. We don't. Let me give us this example quickly. Then Mazi, you continue. This is the story my father told me. Like I said, I sat at the feet of the elders while I was growing up. My father told me that when my people, we migrated from Arochukwu, that's how we came. Went to a place called Ozuzu. From Ozuzu, we came to the present day where we are. There were people who were settlers already there, Umukochi. But being that Arab people were warriors, we were able to overtake them. But they brought the deity. This deity, Igwekala, is a replica of Chukwu in Aro. Now, my father told me this story. When my people wanted to establish the Igwekala deity, they consulted an oracle and they were asked to bring one or two things. Okay? They were asked, one of the things they were asked to bring was bring a living thing that has no bone. Okay? A living thing that has no bone or in it. Okay, I'm trying to tell us where you don't have the right person to interpret a message from the oracle, you can make a mistake. In my town today, Umunoha, we don't have any water, no river, no stream. The only thing you have is there's a place we call Nwada. That is the first forest you get before you get to Igwe forest. Igwe forest is more than 1,000 years old, still virgin. So, but that's the first place. You will see a little pond. Yeah, they say that is the pond that Igwekala uses to wash the hand. But let me move on quickly with this story. Now, my father said he witnessed this thing himself. That when the Igwekala, or his father told him, when the Igwekala, before they could establish it, they were supposed to perform some rituals. And they consulted Oracle, of course, told them they should bring a living thing that has no bone. Because they didn't have the right person to interpret that message, they went and brought a newly born child. Now, because there was a river there, that's why it's called Nwada. There was a river there. But what the deity was really asking was this thing we call Eruru. I don't know how, it's like a maggot, maggot that, lives in a wood. When you cut the wood down and it stays there, it has no bone. But they didn't understand the meaning of what this deity said. My father said that river left. You can see the way the river left at the middle of the night after they finished performing that ritual. What I'm telling you is a true story. According to my father, he said in the night they were hearing noise like there was an earthquake. When they woke up in the morning, the river was gone and ended up where you call Otora today. You follow the path, you will see how he left and left that tiny little one. That thing is like, it never dries, and they say that's where Igwekala washes his hand. That's a different, I'm not going into details. So why I brought this story is that even when you go to an oracle, to consult oracle, and he gives you a message, if you don't have the right people who are in depth to interpret the message, you will make a mistake, and sometimes it could be very thorough. That is why, according to the story, and my father was a living witness, said that was why we don't have water today. We have to go to other surrounding villages or towns to go and fetch water. So that is why it's important that we must begin to find a way, do serious researches, begin to see how we're going to restore this thing. Again, I'm going to thank Mazi for introducing ESN prayer warriors. I think that is that's where we're heading with this. I don't know how we're going to do it, but it's an important thing we must restore, Mazi.
So, before I open the lines, let me continue a bit, because this thing is not going to finish today. The British know the reality about us, but they demonized it in our presence and then allowed us to use our hands to fight it. Remember, Britain corrupted Aro Chukwu Shrine because they are afraid of it. Because Aro Chukwu, is the source of the belief. They call it long juju. They believe it's the source of power to make warriors. Do you understand? So they detested it. So, and they know that we have powers. So in order to beat us hands down, in order to break our backbone, they put all these viruses of these people are inferior, they are dedicated to ROC, why this and that. But they have their missionaries. For them, they are doing the work of God, and they are highly respected. They know if they are talking something about religion and spirituality, they meet them and they direct them. But our own, who do we call? Oh, Chineke. Who do we call? Who do we call? That is why you see us wandering in the face of the earth like sheep without a shepherd. You see a whole peculiar race, Igbo people. If you see some people, they need something spiritually, they go to Yoruba land. It's an abomination, honestly. It's an abomination. Now, they know what the reality about us, but they demonized it in our presence and then allowed us to fight, to use our hands to fight it. Remember how they destroyed the Aro Shrine by calling it a long juju? This is why we should be very careful in these efforts of abolishing of Osu in Igbo land. We should be highly careful. I say highly careful. Instead, we should make researches and find out their need and find out the true story, the truth behind this Osu, so that we give them their seat, so that our land will be at peace. Instead of anything, we believe and start acting as they program us to be. Let us be, have our own initiative for once. Let us have our own initiative. You understand me? We should be highly careful in this efforts of abolishing of Osu in Igbo land. Instead, more profound researches should be made to understand the real meaning of this Osu. This is because one can never cut off one's shadow from following him. Otherwise, you are simply beating about the bush, fighting our value that we could organize to our advantage is not the solution. Fighting the value, our natural value, fighting it is with abolition. It is not the solution. Instead, we should return it back to its normal place in our lives, where it will be cherished and our land will be happy with us
and appreciate it.
Yes,
but because if you think about it, let's take for instance this era we are in now. If a national prayer is called in Biafra land, okay, I saw the Orthodox Jews, our brothers in Biafra land, doing sacrifices when the pronouncement of our Peter of our Mazi was done. Good, I love that, okay, because they have, their Levites performing that. Now you come to Pentecostal, you have the pastors, okay. You come to Catholic, you have the Reverend Father. Where this thing hinges is the traditional religion. We don't have anybody or group of people. Rather, what we have are individuals trying to do things on their own. But if this Osu system, because it's Osu, those who have dedicated their... Okay, let me put it out. When people hear that word Osu, they think that it's a bad thing. When somebody answers Osuji, Let's go to the meaning of that Osu. What do you mean by Osuji? Remember, we have Ezeji and Osuji. Like the example I tried to give. When somebody is Ezeji, the person is what they're trying to say that the person made the biggest harvest of yam, or the person has a big barn of yam. But when somebody is Osuji, the person has dedicated their life to the production of yam. Even though we have the distinct difference, this one is dedication. This one is achieving something, actualization, which is the Ezeji. The Osu is dedication. So what I'm trying to bring, and you see me will answer Osu, they're proud to say Osuji, Osuede, Osunka, Osu. They don't see it as any bad thing. But when you say Osu, even some people answer Osoli, Osueke, they don't have a problem. But then the people that are supposed to stay there and dedicate their life, because that's what it means. Osu, somebody who has set themselves apart to study, to dedicate, to be able to replicate the same action. And that was why I read those meaning, to affect something. That's what Osu there is qualifying. Dedication, master it. It's more of masterful, you're mastering the art. That's what that title means. But we demonize it when it comes to the actual place we should be utilized. Today we don't have people who are seriously, not even seriously, who come together as a group, because according to our deity again, our language, it says gidi gidi wu gweze. Awaka onye ọma amiri ye eti ofofo. Igrube you know what igrube is? That is a grasshopper. Even though their legs are tiny, there's a metaphor. If you can have a whole lot of them, when they come together, they'll be able to break a clay pot, which is you have strength in numbers. Even in prayers, where you have more people come together to pray, because you're releasing energy, you have a stronger energy. That is why even where in the Bible it says that it is not easy to break 2 cords, but rather it is easier to break 1 cord than 2 or 3 cords. So now, our people are traditional healers or traditional religious people are praying individually because they don't have this Otu caste system. We have abolished it. Which if we have it today, these are the people that at the moment they be one that make sure that all the Omenala are being preserved. And even as we're talking about evolution, they'll be going through evolution in the right way by consulting the oracles, our deities, our chi, making sure even this thing we're talking about, we have people talking about Okit and all that. These are the people that will step in, begin to remove all the negative aspect of our traditional religion and channel it where it will be more beautiful and presentable and attractive to people. And begin to remove those things by enacting laws, making sure that if you want to be a traditional healer, you will come to the light. You don't deal with the darkness. Okay, you register them. You make sure that we know what they're doing. Anybody who is doing something bad,
even schools built to train people for this.
To learn, to continue to begin to teach people, so that you can carry to the next generation. All these things you hear somebody will take or to a report to somebody. These are the people that would have been doing the check and balance and make sure that as a traditional healer, you're trajecting the society to the right path, not going to the dark side, because everything in life has positive and dark and negative side. That would have been the job of the Levi, our Osu. That's the job they would have done. But because now you don't have them in traditional religion, everybody is doing whatever they like. Somebody can decide to be doing just dealing with the dark forces, to be destroying all that. There's nobody to regulate them. There's nobody to charge them. There's nobody to say nobody to come and present that case that way. That is why we have to seriously, like you said, look into it and bring it back and let it start moving forward and do what it was established to do in the first place.
Yes. Before I open the line, as I said, I will also pinpoint this, because when we talk about Osu, as you have also put clarity on it, dedicated people that are dedicated to, even the Bible, you see Samuel that everybody is calling. He's a kind of Osu. He's dedicated to the service of God. Mm-hmm. That's it. When the mother was
after 8 days he was brought and dedicated to God.
The mother Hannah, he prayed and said, if you give me a child, even one, I will dedicate it forever to you. And
that's set aside for you.
And you look at the quality church she is. Revered.
Yes.
But in our own case, at the original time, the early time, the British, the Europeans made us turn our head into hating things that is for our own good, fighting with our shadows, and we are seeing the result today. We are in shambles, aren't we? Are we not in shambles? Even if in Nigerian politics, nothing.
We have nobody. We have no unit that can represent us.
This is normal in our life. Why can't we?
And then what did we do? We went and cobbled some people who have no spiritual inclination and called them Ohaneze. Yes. That's why this thing is up, because they have no spiritual qualities. They were not called. They were not set aside. They are just politicians. And we replace the main thing with this Ohaneze. Ohaneze are not spiritually. They cannot do much for us. They're not even spiritually inspired. That is why they are weak. That is why they are weak. They don't even know what to do. You know, they can't even do anything for us. So that's the deception. The same way they took our Ndenzen and Dozo, replaced them with Raran chiefs. That's the same thing they did with our caste system.
And if Osu is something bad, why do we have a son named Osu?
That's the answer. You know, that's what I'm trying to say, man. That was why I brought it up.
Sometimes we don't reason. I'm telling you honestly. We are just acting.
That was why I brought it up. Osigwe, Osuala, Osu, and we're happy to answer. Osu,
you know, it's very common in our life.
But we don't think.
Yes.
It is such a bad, because what is saying that you are somebody who is dedicated to the knowing or the services of that. That's the title. Osu is dedication, set aside, dedicated. That's really the true meaning.
Of course, I think I will go into a few minutes break so that when we come back, our lines will be open. I know that people are eager to call.
This one is an itchy one. Let me see how they're going to react.
Yes, of course. You know, people are, I know people are eager to call. I know that. So we go into a few minutes break so that when we come back, I will open the lines so that people will start calling in. Please don't go away.
We, the indigenous people of Biafra, ably led by Saint Mazi Kanu, humbly call on traditional rulers, aka Ndeze, town union, churches, villages, kindreds, Ndiamala, and all paternal and maternal homes to beg hear our voice and hear our cry in this request to please do the needful now before it is too late. We ask all the people involved to beg, try and bury all the corpses we scatter all over Biafra land. For this one, they should say it they bring us spiritual and physical problem, and now with the suffer we don't know. When you know the root cause of the sickness, the treatment now don't dey easy. I beg my people.
Now we don't sabi the cause of the sickness. IPOB don't come with the solution.
The research wey you do show say some dead body don dey up to 1 year, 3 years, 5. Years and the death count. Na human being we go bury or na firewood. Everybody where this one concern, we IPOB the beg una, beg make una do something no, because anybody when person start the journey, when he never reach the destination, in heart no go come down. As we never bury our people, our heart never come down. All the obnoxious high burial demands, competitions, effigy from churches, Ndiamala, Omona, in-laws, maternal and paternal homes, when they cause this delay and wahala for our people, I beg, make una try do something. Now all these things they cause, then they build mortuary, like said in the build
joint,
church, filling station everywhere for Biafra land. I beg, mortuary, na factory, na children's amusement park. No. A stitch in time saves 9. We dey call therefore say make everybody try for 3 days wey your person kaput make una bury am. After una go do the ceremony, una go do the effigy wey follow am.
Churches, traditional rulers and other people that matters, abeg make una chook mouth and chook eye and help us for this matter.
Because the person wey dey pursue cow dey call him name, if e no hold the medicine e go hold the thing wey dey dose the cow. Na we dey call una, and the one una talk e go stand. Abeg my people, make we comot this danger, comot our people from bondage. If una no do something, we the indigenous people of Biafra under St. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu no go waste time to do the needful so as to remove the yoke and our people from bondage. And soonest we go begin the closure of many mortuaries for Biafra land. The only dead body wey we wan make e dey for mortuary na the only one
wey get case wey dem dey treat.
And after they don finish the whole thing, settle everything, make dem bury am. Mortuary no be factory, mortuary no be industry, mortuary no be amusement park again, no be recreational center, no be children's park. Remember, person wey sell land bury im dead body don bury 2 corpse o. Shey you never know, na we be the owners of the land, and we don tell una the time to cleanse our land na now. Make una do the needful, our land go dey calm and our ancestors go happy wherever dem dey.
Na the indigenous people of Biafra under St. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu dey bring una this message. Please, our heart dey bleed to save our people. Thank you.
Going back to my roots,
Welcome back. This is Radio Biafra House of Service coming to you through the auspices of Radio Biafra London. My name remains Mazi Jonathan Chinedu from Olu province of Biafra land, and we are here today being the 22nd day of October 2022 with Nwada Haider. We are discussing on a topic that says upholding our values. It is on the series of no religion is superior to others. Therefore, what we are doing here is to make us think, to make us make more researches, please, so that we can be able to arm ourselves with the real knowledge of our history, of our values, of everything concerning us, so that we shall no more be ignorant, so that we shall not continue in doing whatever they push us to do. And that is why we have been wandering like sheep without shepherd all over the face of the earth. This is not normal. Our lines are now open. Our direct line is +1 213 328 6224. I repeat, +1 213 328 6224. Our WhatsApp and Signal line is +61 405 142 547. I repeat, +61 405 142 547. I have a caller, Mazi Ekeroneke. Can you hear me? Mazi?
Yeah, my beloved, there were my beloved brother and Conrad. Good evening from Poland here, my beloved brother. We watch you well. We love you, Mazi. You are doing wonderfully well. And our sister, Mariam Haider, Nwada Umnoha. You are wonderful. Mazi, this is our sister. Today I've respected her. I know she's doing wonderfully, but in Keta, Mazi in Keta, and our leader still remains Mazi Nandi, Oku Chukukano, the memories of Shuku Prince and all his lieutenants, doing the needful, fanaticals, men and women of valor all over the world. They win. Mazi, what she said this night, I never knew that. Even when nobody, but I said I want nobody, but the tradition. What he that just said this morning, this night, Mazi. Okay, let me start by the name. I am Osio by name, and we have also like you rightly say, we have Osuwoke, we have Osuji, we have Osuala, we have Osuibudo, too many names. And there is particular thing she said. I am from Omaka, ancient kingdom. Omaka is made up of 10 good villages. The one that is neighboring this our sister is Ami Omaka. After Ami Kwasara, a climb there, you get to the place. And she talked something about the market. Within this axis, we have Afomaka, we have a Kokwodo, we have Odiamunigwe, and we have the other one from Mbano side, Odiamunak, somewhere that there. And we have Nkorodo. My sister did too much. Before God and man, this Omaka we are talking about, we are the first village, we are the first guy, we are the custodian of Eshakwa for Njaba in our place, the whole of Omaka. And coming to the only festival we have in Omaka, we are being celebrated. Ogu Festival is in my compound. If our gong, Ekwaigaka, $1 Omaka. This why after our move or I went. And over na Ekwa Ngayakre, this is one pam, Ekwayakre, this is one na see. And the Akajo of Omaka, Obiawo, Duroria, her family. The same of my client. So when she talked a lot of things. Are you talking about those? Mazi, the first lawyer we had in Omaka, Barista Ezala, it was one of Omaka. He is from this ocean of a place, but thank God today, when you come to Omaka, you not know who is who, and they are one of the richest in that town. They are close to the market, of course. And these people, if you go to Omaka, they are more united. Nejophobia, you will not know how. So as I'm talking now, there are people who are working their companies, both in our and every who can bear me witness. The people that do presentation here equally. Mazi, what our sister opened her eye today, honestly speaking, I am very, very happy. These people are blessed. They are really a blessing. Even in my time, they are a blessing to us. We do things in common. They are very, very human, very, very gentle, educated. They are lacking nothing. And when it comes to unity, they are number one. Ask anybody from Omaka. Obi one village. They will tell you that now. Our sister, honestly speaking, this is as good as going back to our roots. Iman has news of another one road closes, another one open. I wonder if you know how I made before now how I go. But on your members after and for them, I am happy. We are happy to follow this program. But Haider, continue to educate your beloved brother because someone handle my cannot there. And what she said, when you get to Umunohana from Ami Omaka, you get to Umunohagia, the next one that told you Ami there. And you not know, I'm going to divide and rule, but that place they call it Mbitolo Torodo. After of course, my mother is from Orodo, Monyaha Orodo. My mother is from Monyaha Orodo. I'm proud to say that.
I didn't know quite alone. I na-eju kwa abịa orodo bịa ahịa orodo unu na-eju every day when is Oriamigwe ndị ụlọ na-esi n'ama nna m agafe na-aga ahịa Oriamigwe it's very close.
Of course, because I afford Oriamigwe ma ụmụ ha gị azọ kwa ebe anyị na-abịa ịmatagwo na ọ na-eji ọkpa gị na-agba bọọlụ na-agarị gị ọla and ịma ha na-agba mmanwụ ịghọla ndị ogbe ha na-agba mmanwụ.
And the mama is your teacher. I don't want to tell that old story. It begins to tell you, my dear, we must get back. We must get
so
back.
These people just divided us. Mazi, do you know that Omaka borders by this one? This one is Afra. The other one is Ezemobiato and Ukwoji. From Ukwoji, enter Otora. From there, you enter our member. All these things. Mazi, but I thank God.
We need to
thank God for our neighbor. We are working out. And we are already back, Mazi. Forget all these nonsenses. I thank God. I don't know the sick, we appreciate you. And my Jonathan,
Thank you,
we are getting
My
there.
pleasure.
That one I demand chronic. Thank you. Yeah, Mazi, because before I drop, our people from Oka South, Oka North, Njikoka, and Anioma in Omombra, where you call Anambra. Most of you are calling for your radios, but your radio is on. Probably are mistaking the frequency. This is the only frequency in Biafra land. The whole of our radio that is on 103.1, not 102.1. 103.1, and the radio is on since inception on our 24 hours. Tune continue to listen. Mazi.
There. Thank God you are finished because somebody is stopping the line. Caller on signal. Thank you for holding on. Caller on signal. Can you hear me? Caller on signal. Welcome to the program. Mazi Fanyichuku. Caller on signal. Are you there? Yeah. Now I'm hearing you. Go on, please.
Taking my call to you, to our sister Miriam, with you in the studio. Good evening to Biafrans and lovers of freedom. My name is Nwada, and I'm calling from the Kingdom of the Netherlands. You see, this is about knowing and keeping our values, and that is what my psyche, my core is about. And I thank Chukwuokika Biama, who brought Nnamdi Kanu, who set up this radio so that we will maintain, exchange views and get enlightened through the radio. I start with saying eternal shame to hypocrites who are robbing Biafrans from ages till today. And they're teaching us nonsense, according to Fela, that those who are chasing kids with telephone and the computer, who are robbing them £1 and £10, but they are robbing us in billions.
Billions.
God have mercy. When I finished reading this, my brother, I said, is this how this world is? Is this how this world is? No wonder they don't listen to us in our demonstrations.
Do you know what? They made us, turn us to be condemned, taking ourselves, they are the criminals, these people, now, they turn us to believe that they are
we are corrupt.
They are the highest criminals, not knowing that those are the devils themselves.
To fear what? They are corrupt. The zoo is corrupt. Who is the father of this corruption we are talking about? Anyway, but what I'm saying to close that chapter, this call is that the God of creation, Chukwuokika Biama ya konyo na obodo na na-ebu ibu anyị masị na anyị enwere onwe anyị Chineke nna konyo ọkụ anyị azọ onwe anyị azọta onwe anyị zọta ana anyị n'aha Chukwuokika Biama. Yeah. So let me go to this very I hear you. So let's go to this very important topic, about this Osuka system. What we must separate is, for instance, calling people Osu in order to demonize them, to disadvantage them, and then or take over their dues. So in that sense, I am of the opinion that we must not tag anybody Osu because it has negative connotation in Igbo land. But I will come to the Osu and Osuji. But what I'm saying here is that when our leader was also on the radio, he said that in Biafra, when Biafra is restored, anybody who calls his fellow citizen patriot Osu will go to 25 years jail, and if he cannot take in his citizenship, will be reviewed or denied. But why am I saying this? Chief priests, Ezemo, are not Osu, and we must not mistake or join the two together. If we can trace the descendants of the priest of Arochukwu when it was in place, we can still, employ them, or know how far they are involved in spirituality in our land. But as the more where I come from now, even today, there are people who are Ezemo who tend to different deities, and these people are called, are made with integrity. They are pure in their lives and in saying the truth, and doing the work of the day of the deity they are doing, and that's they are called Ezemo. And there are some things they don't eat, and if they come to your place, they don't need to eat, because there's a way you have to give them food. They are still there today. So we must not mistake the two. Yes, those dedicated to a deity, and how do they dedicate to a deity? For instance, if a man is being oppressed by powerful people in the village, and they want to take their land, they are being oppressed and suppressed and persecuted, they can voluntarily run to a deity and say, from today onwards, I belong to you. And in our tradition, it is a wrong tradition, I must confess, in Igbo land, that from then, people will start eschewing the person and saying, oh, he belongs to that deity. And the worst part of that tradition is that his or her offsprings are also deemed to be Osu because their father or ancestor ran to the deity. So that is what we are trying to stop, from limiting people's potentiality and freedom in our society because their ancestors were called Osu, either by running to the deity by themselves, or that somebody who seeks a favor from the deity bought somebody to dedicate to the deity, in order to get the favor. Or another way the people get dedicated to the deities are that the deity demands, in the olden days said they demands the human sacrifice. When they get the human, they don't kill them, they buy it and they dedicate him or her to the deity, and therefore they bear the stigma of being Osu. So what we are saying here is that
Mazi, let me come in what you're saying. Yes.
Yes, sir.
There is you have a point in what you're saying, but what we are trying to advocate is more profound insight and research about this Osu, because it might not be what even we thought. It might not be. And like what you are saying, if somebody, I give example, we praise those that did that way in the Bible, like Samuel. Samuel is dedicated. His mother dedicated him to the gods. That is not. And he was revered. Even he is still revered.
And he was set aside. He was set aside.
Now, my question is this: if all these things is is bad, why do people answer Wosu?
Why? I'll come to that.
Why do people answer Usuala? Why Usu name and it's not something that so we need to make more research. There is no conclusion yet. Like even what I
know.
At the last, the writer, the person said that look, we should make more research because nobody, all these things you are talking is just a theory. Because and when you look at the way they scattered us right from the time of colonization, because they saw that we are people that are highly spiritual. We are attached to spirituality in our land. So for the British people, for the Europeans to conquer us completely. What they need to do is to demonize that thing we are attached to sever our umbilical cord. That is where all these things started. Even something good, they turn it into bad. Our shrine, they turn it is evil. Even saying he say, have you forgotten? I don't know.
Yes.
Earlier on, when our leader was he said, some people used to say, no, he says it's evil.
Yeah.
Until it's now that all these things are down on us that look, we are wrong. So that is what we are advocating. It's not conclusive.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes, I know. Okay. Yeah. So what I'm saying here is that what we have to revive and make them know who are you as a more intended to a deity, and what is your qualification? Are you making it for money? Are you making it for a call? So that we don't have the same kind of pastors we have that are everywhere. And now coming to what is called outcast. Outcasts in Igbo land are not people who are set aside to serve deity. Outcasts in Igbo land are those who are being punished or who are punished for either grievous crimes or sacrilegious deeds like Nsala. Those are outcasts. And it is a very big stigma that is even justified according to the gravity of the sacrilege or crime. And so I have said that Osun in itself.
Mazi, let me also come. Sorry.
I disagree. Mazi, I will come in when you finish.
Yes.
I totally disagree.
Mazi, you're so done, you will talk. This outcast you say in our own tradition. Remember, according to our olden days tradition, when somebody does something, it depends on the severity of the crime. Sometimes, even alakobuoya, do you know that? The person will one thing or the other will happen to the person. If it's something repairable, now he can be ostracized or sent into exile. From there, there are things you have to do in order for restitution, in order to restitute himself back to the land. It's not something that is permanent. You become outcast and forever. People, you born your children there. No. It is now because the Europeans, they observe this. That is why we don't have thieves in our land. Before Europeans came, they saw that we don't have thieves. We don't even have prisons. But everybody is okay. You understand? Because we work with our spirituality. There are things, the gods of our land will punish the person if he lies. Remember, I saw in the 80s when I was small, I saw that if people are, dragging for land, this one say, it's my land, and he knows it's not his land, they will say, okay, go and go to Arashi, go and swear. You understand? And sometimes the person will say, no, you will not go. I succumb. Sometimes if he stubbornly go, they'll give him time, maybe 1 week or four market days or something like that. You see, before you know, Akwa don't hold that place. No one. So there are things that we're supposed to also think, because for me, I don't think that there are many outcasts. There are real outcasts in Igbo land, because either they made restitution and come back, or something happened to them. They die. You understand? Now life continues. But when the Europeans came, they compromised everything. The church now come put hand. Those people that run away, that are criminals, they run into church and become catechists, and they tell them, they arm them and say, you are the born again, you do baptism. Now the custodians of the land, now they demonize them and say, these are the evil people. You understand? You see how all this Nsobuti battle in our land. So that is it. Nwada, sorry, Mazi, be online. Nwada say you want to say something. Nwada, go on.
Okay. Yeah, Mazi, God bless you with all due respect. I'm going to object a little bit with your argument in one or two places. Now, let us recall that when there used to be a statement that as poor as a church rat, that time it was not a glamorous thing
So
It
of
was
course.
not a prestigious thing for somebody to be a priest or a catechist. They were looked down on. Okay? But today, there came a time when it became a glamorous thing, a respectful thing, an honorable thing to be a minister.
Wealthy thing. Call it wealthy, something to
But
make
now
money.
where we are going, because I'm trying to tell us the story of Osu. Now where we are going, now because of what some of them have been doing, that is coming to the limelight, thank God for social media. Now it's becoming a dishonor to be a minister. Now let's follow the sequences. When if you go back, like that was why I first established that Igbo as a tribe is more than 500,000 years. Go and check this. That is archaeological dating is what is proving this.
Yes.
We have lived in that location for at least 500,000 years. Because there were some handmade axes that were found at this place I call, what's the name? What's the name of this place again? At Ugwele. Okay, it's in Uturu. They dated it, they carbon dated it, and it's telling them those axes, our ancestors made them. Onyike. 250,000 years. 250,000 years is the aging of that. So because when we're talking about this caste system, Osu, you and I, or some of us, might be looking at the past 100 years, 200 years. We must find out when it was instituted 300,000 years ago, what were their activities? What was the reason they came into play? That's the argument I'm making. They were not put into place just to marginalize them. They were the custodians and people who were proudly dedicated themselves to the services of the deities and gods. They were the overseers. They were respected. They were honored. It was a pride thing. This is the research we must make, whether what I'm saying is right or wrong. Then as things began to go on, just like you and I agree, some people will commit crime. And when they are chased, because that was the setting, because these people were set aside so that they will not be polluted. That was why they set them aside. They were set aside so that they will not mix, just like the royal family. It's only recent now.
The British
Because
royal
of
family.
genetical malfunction. That is why the royal family are beginning to marry commoners. They were not mixing with commoners. They were pure breed, set aside to oversee the monarchy of Britain. Okay? That was the same thing with this caste system. To make sure, remember in our own culture, we didn't have anything. We didn't have anything like that, but we had a spiritual setting. It was their job. Now, some people now, when they commit crime, because they know that one of the rules and regulations was, if you ever run into their place, into the Osu place, and sit down, you have become an Osu. So if I commit a crime now and they're chasing me, an easier way for me to escape was to run into and become an Osu. But I was not dedicated to the God. It was not my bloodline. But because of my proximity or by distant refuge, I have become an Osu. Some of them now began to corrupt the system. Okay? Maybe is that where they begin to give them bad names? This is the things we must find out. But the major argument is this. When the white man came in with their religion, they saw what was on the ground. There was no way they could have been able to easily defeat our own treasured religion if you did not first attack the institution. And the main institution upholding that religion was these people who dedicated their lives in making sure that the system upholds, just like the fight you and I put on with the DOS. When they came in to attack DOS, the HOD, they couldn't decapitate him. What did they do? They started attacking the perimeter, the periphery, the tentacles. If you allow them, maybe the finance and this, there's many ways to kill a rat. Look at what is happening. Finance begins to fight the HOD. HOD begins to fight. It's a matter of fact, you cave in. That was what they did. They begin to tell some of our people, criminals, who have now been converted as Christians, telling them that these people you're calling outcasts, you have no right calling them outcasts. You are marginalizing them. Then they will go to those and say they're calling you outcasts because they're looking down on you. It was a matter of time. We began to fight each other.
Causing
now,
confusion in our land. Yes, among us.
Yes, somebody you want to talk to your neighbor, you want to hug your neighbor, you say, oh, so just like that is, you will never hear me call another woman a prostitute. You will never hear me, even in my private life. And I challenge any woman. It's the same thing. You will see a woman fighting with another woman, or even a man fighting with another a woman. Talk about substances, or the rest of ashawo. It makes no sense. That's not so for me, somebody like me. Let's talk about what has the person done. So I believe at the time, if you want to hurt somebody, because now they begin to cast these people as now, because Arushina was a bad thing. That was the first thing they did.
Yes.
Our worship, our way of life, our spiritual way of life was that.
They first demonized our Arushi. That's it.
Yes. So, and then once you begin to attack the Arushi, what do you think will happen to those who were the keepers of the Arushi? You're already telling them what they're doing was wrong. So now if I want to hold and say, look at you, Osu, now worship Arushi. So now they become this enmity. Now people now begin to, instead of praising them and appreciating them for what they have done or they were doing, begin to castigate them. And then because they were in the minorities, the same religious people that came and put the divide were the one that begin to take them in, that they're trying to save them or give them protection. We must keep our eyes. This is the divide and rule I'm talking about. Initially, Otutu caste system was not meant to punish anybody. In fact, it was honorable. As I speak to you, like I call by I am from Umunoha. If I'm not the one talking to you, these people that are the Osu of Igwe Kala, we don't call them Osu Igwe Kala. But somebody like me who sat at the feet of elders know that they were the ones dedicated to the Igwe. Yeah. You can never go to Igwe Kala without first going to them, because there are rituals they must perform. Let me tell you how they are seen. They are glorified, because without them you cannot have access to Igwe Kala. They are the partakers and they are the keepers of Igwe Kala. They know the ritual. They know how to perform it. No other of those 5 villages in Omunoha can go to Igwe Kala without first going and paying homage. Even before they were not working, because you bring homage to them, all the ritual things, that's how they were surviving. That is, go and check my town today. Even our own that were at the other Osu, which they were calling Osu, who live very close at Oriamigwe. Their job was to make sure that nobody interferes with that bush. Oriama, that is Oriama, that is Oriamigwe, that's the name of the market. That is only Igwe, that is the front of Igwe. The market was there. These also live there to make sure that no intruder, that everything that's different from the one Nwada Leke. So what I'm trying to tell you that it was over time, just like now. The Christian priests are getting into an era where that now priesthood is not seen as a moral thing because of what they have done. And who created it? It doesn't mean that every priest is bad or immoral. There's some immoral pastors who are doing something as spoiling that thing, giving it a bad name. You hear a reverend father now having relationship. You hear a reverend father having children everywhere. Doesn't mean every reverend father, no. But they are bringing the institution down. I believe that's what happened. So yes,
I want to say something
them, here. We begin to abuse them and bully them, and then they get angry, and that divide and rule break, because we don't have even the Ezemo you invoked, my brother. In those days, you cannot just come out and be Ezemo. You must be a member of that set aside, a Levite. For you, from there, you can pick the Ezemo, because Ezemo cannot do everything for himself, to the whole society. The Ezemo will give directions on how, even when you go to a local DBA, that he works with. When you consult with him, those children who are learning from him, who are doing that, learning how to do the craft, they are the ones who will give instructions. They are the ones who knows it. He will be tell them, go and pick up this leaf, go and pick up that leaf. Even as you go and pick up the leaf, there are some leaves that you will be given a specific instruction how to pick it. There are some leaves you cannot pick as a woman who is still menstruating. There's a, I'm not trying, I don't want to use this one to talk about my spiritual, taste and politics or what I do. But what I'm trying to tell you, these are serious laws. They might look minute, but when you neglect them, if you don't know them, that thing will not have effect. So those children are dedicated to the service of what their masters are doing. The man cannot there give you, they go to Bacha for them, the man will go into the bush. Sometimes he may go to the bush, but there are these children who will dedicate to go and do this, and they must know what to do to carry this thing out. they are dedicated to the service of that Aroshi or that whatever that master is serving. They are Osu.
Yeah.
They are trying to master the craft of their master.
Okay.
That's what I'm
Yes,
I'll leave it there.
my brother. There's something I want to say here.
Go on.
Our society, when the Aro Confederacy was still intact, when the Aro Chukwu, not really the long juju, because when you go to juju, then the British have come in to name it that juju. What I'm saying is, when that holy place of Aro Chukwu was functioning, yes, when that temple was in power, our society was so well structured. You must have a priestly class. So you cannot tell me that those who are, who are called those, they are those who are set aside. I've told you the origin, at least where I come from. I knew people I grew up with who are called Osu. I hated it. I have one bosom friend that is called Nwosu, but his family is not Osu. What I'm saying that those priestly class existed, Ezemo existed, but those who are Osu, who have have been dedicated to the shrines or the deities, they follow the Ezemo because Ezemo do the job. They follow them to carry their bag. They eat things that ordinary people don't want to go and eat because it's inside the more thing. And so, what I want us to distinguish here is that Ezemo and the priestly class in those days are different from people who ran to the shrine or the deity for protection. But what I want to say here is that Osuji is the one who is dedicated so good in farming yam that he is so dedicated, and then it takes his name. Osuala, they have so much land and dedication to the land and keeping the law of the land that they become Osuala. And Osuigwe dedicated to heaven, and the Nwosu is one who is dedicated. We must not mix these things, those highly esteemed names in those days, to those who ran to the shrine or brought to the deity, that our people started to minimize and derogate. So that we must not seek the revitalization of Osu. We have to do away with it. What we have to maintain is our priestly class who maintain our values. This is my submission. God bless Biafra. God bless you all. Good night.
Yeah, but I'm not going to take time.
Yeah,
But quickly,
please, there are many people waiting. Many people waiting.
The Chukwu. People must know that the very first serious shrine in Igbo land is called the Isiume. Okay, is in a place called that Igwele. You have Ngodo town. You can go and go with the shrine which is called Isiume. The first breath is the place where a goddess, or rather the mother to father god known to the native as Nkem Chukwu, my supreme mother or god, was worshipped in the days of Yore. This is way back, hundreds of thousands ago. That's what I'm saying. We are trying to start at the middle. Let's go back and see why was this thing instituted before the corruption came in. That's my argument. And then my brother, almost everything you said was what I said. I said that title Osu means somebody who is dedicated to something or have started it. Let me leave it there. I don't want to.
Of course. Anyway, let me concentrate on taking calls first, because there are many things to be spoken honestly. Even with what our brother said, even I made mistake. I have to cut off somebody thinking that he was the person. I cut off the wrong person. Caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
There we welcome to the program.
My brother Jonathan. There were my brother. Please, I might speak Igbo also, and as I'm talking. One more. Madam Haider, thank you so much, my lovely sister. We appreciate you so much. We always hear your voice loud and clear. With Jonathan, the professor. And what God has put in your brain is overwhelming. And everyone has their okay, always say always. So I love what's happening in our lives now. It's too much. It's time. I think this is actually time, because God has brought someone who He brought made to liberate us from every angle, and that is why all this is happening. You know, so when you are trying to liberate, to come out from the evil one holding you down, everything will be happening. The evil one will be fighting also for you not to go, and that is why all those things are happening. The Western world are fighting us also, and Nigerian people are fighting. Nigerian government also are fighting. All the spirits from here in Nigeria that are against us, they're also fighting. Remember, because right here, look, you guys have been saying, there's something I want to say here. My sister said that Igbo people existed thousands of years, which is true. There was a time our leader said there is Igbo people who were in the land, but they were few. When other people migrated from other parts of the world to meet those ones that are origin in the land of Igbo. So, and they joined together. They lived there for thousands of years. Yes. So, number one, they said for you to find out whom you are. Number one, the problem of we Igbo is that we lack knowledge. We know all this knowledge of whom we are, information. We lack information. We don't have, many of us do not have information whom we are, where we come from, where we came from, how we migrated, the people that we are there, the practice we are practicing to become whom we are. And that is why, and we are stubborn people who lack knowledge, who lack information, that stubborn. It's always to consort to destruction, So, number one, what we have to do, like our leader said, when Biafra comes, we have to build a temple to debate, to make sure to find out who we are, and to institute our traditional customs. There are difference between custom and the tradition. Your custom, your culture, and tradition, they are totally, they are different. And the mistake, even our elders, Nana Igbo, is making many of them, they don't even know the difference between tradition, omenana, and ordinana. Omenana and ordinana. Because when you say omenana to some elders, they hear like on ana and ana. They say, yeah, they're the same. Ana. No, they're not the same. Because there are some things, some community gathered together and initiated in their land, which are not the origin, the things that are supposed to be in that land. Maybe because of one thing or the other, may prompt them to gather and initiate that thing. Some people can try to and they grab a young man in old days and they bury him alive, maybe to initiate power. All those things, because of corruption came into the customs of Igbo, and they defiled many things. And when it goes on for years, people call it, no, this is our tradition. This is how we live. Some people forgot how that thing came to be, because they have died. The people who did it have died, and their children grow up. They saw their fathers doing it. They don't even know where it came from, how it came about. Now they put it in a way, this is how we live. No. One thing, because I was one day, me and elder man were talking. Okay. I was telling him that there are difference between ordinana and omenana. Omenana biarabia, but ordinana is the spirit of that land that God gave to look after that area. He is to do that in that land. The creator, there's a law he gave that guides the land. Whenever you violate that law of that land is started reacting differently to everyone. Whenever you violate the law of nature, this is started reacting violently. This start going bad with you and the community. Maybe the power will go away from you. The invaders, when they come, they conquer you because you respect the law of the nature of that land. And that's what we are missing here. So as we are talking it now, we must know before for us to get actually who we are. The practices, the law of the land, the culture, the custom, and the tradition of the land. We must go to the roots. Who are we? Where do we come from? Where does our ancestors came from? What we are then practicing from the beginning. From there, we'll be able to narrate and they separate the corruption that came into it. And they'll be able to establish the real law of the land. And those what you call Osu and the priest of the land. Remember even like you said in the custom of Israelites, like there are priests and there are Levites. Yes, do you see how it was separated? There are works that priests do. Levites cannot do it.
Yes.
There are works that is only Levites do only. They only do it. But in our own, we mix things, and that's why we violate the law of nature. We mix things. How to narrate and separate all those things is what we must dedicate ourselves to clear our mind, critical thinking, and then separate, write the laws down. We must have a written law that guides and governs the land, so that and they build a school so that not a personal thing. Like, this is my own. This is my own. This is no. It must be for community. It must be for the nation. So the nation and the law, the government will enforce it. For the nation, build a school. When someone is called to do that duty, you go for the school, and the same law that this person from Onitsha and Enugu and Abakiriki and anywhere in Nepal, they will know the same law. They will not do any different in anywhere they are. It will be the same law, and that's how we are going to organize this, so that this what happened before will not happen to us again. Our enemy will not come and they invade us and take power from us. We become not like a vegetable. That's why we are suffering. Thank you guys so much. God of Israel, God of Igbo land, God of Biafra, bless you guys, give you guys more power and knowledge. Be blessed, my brother.
And you too. Remain blessed too. You know what? For your information, what we are doing here is to revitalize our values, because you cannot, start doing something about something without valuing it. In Israel today, they have Levite schools training Levites because they value it. They know the importance. But we demonize our own. We are made to fight against our own self. Now, how can we even start thinking about writing it down or building schools that teach all these things? That is why we are bringing our brains back, because we were lost, completely lost in the zoo called Nigeria. That is why we don't have magnitude, no direction. There are everywhere. We don't have no control, no value, no magnitude, no direction. But we are bringing ourselves back. Callers, please hold on. Let me take this caller on direct line. They have been calling. I've never picked any call on direct line.
The person can hold 1 minute. Let me say this, please. Don't
hold on. Somebody on direct line. Oh, it's cut. You know, direct line. They don't. They pay.
I know. Go ahead, man.
Gone. It's gone. Wait, just hold on again.
When I was saying that,
hold on again.
What I was saying, even in America where I am, I would like anybody listening to me, if they have access to smartphone or computer, type in, because in back home, when you hear the word witchcraft, you say, everybody's running AY.
Please hold on. Somebody is waiting on direct line.
Go ahead.
Caller on direct line. Can you hear me? Welcome to the program. Caller on direct line. Go on, please. Oh, sorry, it's my fault. I touched something and the line went dead. Nwada, complete what we are saying. Sorry.
Yeah, what I was saying, I know that anytime in Africa you mention the word witchcraft, people are running AY. I'm not saying whether it's a good thing or bad thing, but I'm asking us, let it be assignment I'm giving. Anybody that has a smartphone, anybody that has computer, go and type in School of Witchcraft in America. Mazi, they're everywhere. Everywhere, as I speak to you. School of Witchcraft, register. People go to learn how to
can you try it in our land? You say you open School of Witchcraft.
Thank you. So I'm trying to talk to our people. The same people, these churches are here, but you have it, that is legal. Why can't we have school where you teach our own tradition? Number two, what I'm about to say now is not a hidden secret. Go and Google it. Ronald Reagan, the president of America, when he was the president, there was a living astrologist that was inside White House. They consulted every day before he could do anything. Google it, you will see it there. At the time, it was called Nancy, that is the wife, the dead Nancy Reagan's astrologer. Yes, an astrologer who lived in White House. It was because it was revealed. Did anybody know? And when it was revealed was when he had that. With that time they tried to kill him. That was why Nancy said, "I told him." He was one not to go on that trip, and he left. They had a lived-in astrologer, and these are people that are talking to me. People should go and do research, Mazi.
Oh, I have people calling on direct line. I don't know what is happening. I want to pick callers on direct line, honestly. If people are talking, that's when calls will be flooding in from direct line. Okay. Caller on signal, thank you for holding on. Go on, please. Can you hear me?
Mazi, good evening, sir.
Welcome to the program.
Yes, good evening, great Biafrans all over the world. My name is Mazi Mezia Wisdom. I'm from Ohajima is in Imo Province, Biafra land. Mazi, I want to ask a question. You know, like our brothers in Israel, they have a special day, a particular day, which is Saturday. According to book of Exodus, that he said that we should remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. My own is now, do we have a special day we'll be worshiping, that we'll be practicing our own tradition? Like, and another thing I want to suggest to, like what Nwada said, I want to appreciate our mother, Nwada Haider, and I want to ask her a question. Please, if it's possible, like he mentioned Nzu, Oji, and Edo, all these things, we need to, the people need to teach us so that we can know how to make use of it, because as we are now, we don't know how to make use of those things. And this is how a spiritual power that they possess, which will benefit us as people of Biafra. So please, if you know the benefit and how to use those things, he can teach it to us so that it will help us. And another thing is that these our governors and our politicians, like what I was saying, the Northerners, the Fulanis, they are releasing all the terrorists, terrorizing and killing people. But look at our leader, which the Appeal Court have discharged and acquitted. The federal government of Nigeria is taking him to Supreme Court. But my spirit convinced me that it's not even Nigeria government that is taking our leader to court. It is Igbo politicians. It is Igbo governor that is taking our leader to Supreme Court. And what they want to do is not even to give judgment, but they would like to, do adjournment from adjournment to adjournment, which we can never take. We want to make it clear to Nigeria government this night, we can never take any adjournment. The Court of Appeal have given order that our leader Mazi should be released, and that court should be respected. Because if we are going there for them to give you a judgment, maybe contrary in what Appeal Court give, we can never accept any adjournment. They should give a proper judgment, because extraordinary rendition is against international law, which the UN has spoken about and gave order that Nigeria should release our leader, and they still keeping our leader. The Appeal Court gave order they should release the man. They still going to Supreme Court for them to delay this man maybe to after election. We want to assure them this night, people release about 100 and something terrorists, which they didn't pass through court. Our leader is not a terrorist. We are fighting what belongs to us. Biafra is our identity, and that is who we are. Our leader should be released unconditionally, as Appeal Court, has stated. We can never take in adjournment. We can never take it. Must thank you, Mechukwu, bless you. I thank our mother Nwada Haider for the great teaching both of you are giving us this time. Mechukwu, bless you all. Thank you, sir.
There were Mazi. There were. Caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me? Welcome to the program. Hold on, caller on WhatsApp, please. Hold on. Let me try to pick this caller on direct line. He's gone. What is happening to the direct line? I cannot understand. Call will come and it will go. Are they filtering it? Okay, caller on WhatsApp, please go on. Go on.
Yes, Mazi, Jonathan Chinedu. Good evening from Biafra land.
There were,
Okummak, Ogweria, Enugu Province. Mazi, I thank you and our mother, Marian Haider, for your good work and teaching. I call you people professors because you people are teaching us and review many things to us so that we can know who we are. Let me not waste much of our time. Let me appreciate and praise God, because why I normally praising Chukwuka because I praising him that I always praising him because he and how we demoralize and give us a true leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to go and liberate us and open our eyes, and our leader come out and do the beautiful. May Elohim guide him and protect him. Protect all the Biafra, especially our leaders, HOD, DOS, Chukwoku Kabiama, guide everybody in the name of Chukwoku Kabiama. He said, let me ask this question, because what we are now is the way people collect our own and give us faith. Mazi, can you hear anybody answering like our brother who is now is in Nkwochime? You know, we have 4 market days in Biafra land. Our people answering for Okokwo, Okereke, Okafo, Mbaho. But these people, can you hear somebody answer it again in Biafra land? The answer is no. We rejected who we are. Look at what they are giving us. Some people still answering Sunday. Some people answering the Monday. Some people still answering Saturday, Friday. Is it not the same thing? But our people fail to understand that what white men bring us is fake, collecting the original one from us. You know, Mazi, sometimes when I listen Radio Biafra every evening, Saturdays, I shed tears because this issue of religious opportunity touched me personally. They demoralized who I am personally, because the father of my mother is a prince. Is a prince of God, and my own father and the father of my own father is a prince of God too. And the same thing followed me. Did you know why? When they wanted to take me out of that area, it's like a fight. And these people fight to the last level to make sure they take me, and I fiercely followed them. Till today, I'm a man that nobody have ever defeated me in any way. But this time around, look at where I am following religious all over the place, live where I am. Mazi, there is something we have in our land. Some of deity we have. There is one thing they are called, the one they are called Njokmogo. You know, when this happens every season, everybody, all the men came from cities. Before you travel out again, you must go there, and all the men must stay one place and eat together before you travel. And we never hear that something accident in our land when we are doing all those things. And you get another one in our own land. They call it Mamumaka. This one get the liver that passed through our land. That's what happened. And this one is after is make our cocoyam grow very well. So when we are celebrating, the time of celebrating this thing, everybody will cook cocoyam, and you must bring your own. And when you bring your own, others will be there waiting for you. Everybody will eat these things. And our this thing is always being organized until this religious of a thing. People who think they know best, they are no more than each other, come and demolish all those things. Mazi, in our land today, nobody loves each other. And another one they are called one deity like that. If you steal somebody something, the person will just come and ask, who do this? If you don't want to come out and confess, I will go and bring this Ajanu to come and to ask who took this thing. And immediately the woman or a man bring that deity, drop there. You see the person who took that thing, immediately he will come out and confess. After confessing, they will forgive the person and collect their things. But today, nothing like that is happening. So, Mazi, all those things, I witnessed it myself. I'm somebody who, when you come to our land to ask something to our deity, you come to me directly and request something. I will tell you what to bring. And when you bring these things, see how we know that the God is already answered your prayer. When I wanted to do this, after I called them, all the vultures in our land will gone. We come down. I'm telling you the fact. We come down. After they eat this thing, finish, I will tell you, go. Your this thing, your prayer have already answered, and the person will be happy. And when you came, if I try to call and I do everything and I did not see any voice, I will tell you, go back. There is something that holding you. There is something that holding either you sin against somebody or you feel somebody something. So you go and check yourself. Immediately you call immediately and confess. I will tell you, go back. When you are ready, you come back. And this thing was working very well. But look at us today. These people came here with they bring a good life for us, without knowing that what they are bring to us to kill us. That is why in our land today, look at what is going on. Somebody like then, if our land is still the way it is before, nobody can go to Kenya. Our people, especially the Igbo people, cannot go to Kenya or gang against our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Nobody will try it. But look at what Christianity bring to us. Mazi, it's true that if we wanted to make sure that we must go back to the root and start asking questions. We still have elderly men who are the true men. The person that I serve died in 125 years, and I spoke to him the day he wanted to die. He called me and told me, "Are you sure that you want to take this?" I said, "Yes, I want to take it." But look me back, go and get this thing from me. And immediately I go back, before I come back, this man died. You see? So, my brother, this thing is teaching us very thing. I remember everything and how this Christianity took me. Definitely, today I still thinking about why should I fall into this kind of trap. Now I remember that these people wanted to take our land by first of all destroying everything we have. That is why today somebody will tell you, if somebody slap you, you turn to another this thing. Let Fulani slap you now, and you turn another this. You cut up your hand. And these people who are teaching all these things, if a kidnapper kidnap him, he will pay money. Why not dying and go to heaven that you are teaching us? Mazi, thank you very much, because these people, we need to go back where you come from. Thank God that our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu came to liberate us, and he selected you people, the professors we have. Anybody who are not listening to Radio Biafra is missing a lot. Thank you, my brother, for a good work. Our mother who are there to direct and teach us more. May Elohim bless everybody. We must go back from where we are. Our land is Biafra, and Biafra we shall remain. Thank you very much.
Remain blessed. Thank you. Caller on signal, can you hear me? Welcome to the program.
Yes, Brother Jonathan, can you hear me, sir?
The whole world is hearing you. Please go on.
Brother Jonathan, a perfect God. He knows why He put you in this project. People will hate you because of how formidable you are. Don't change. You don't pray through. You will see truth. Who call them Osu there, and then Jonathan, you said it.
Mazi, you are.
Why progressing you?
Go on. Go on.
Why are they progressing? Let me tell our land. Look at our tradition. Look at our culture. Everything about you is the Biafran people. They're worshippers. But they are imposing their own. And today, he said the Reverend Fathers, he said the pastor, he said the bishop. And the way we talk, he said we shouldn't mention religion. What did they take it? What did they Jonathan? This Biafra land, from where he started to the end, is owned by Chukwoki Abraham, his own. And Chukwoki Abraham, this water father on this one. It's a Biafra. None of them, you call yourself a man of God. Do you know God? Do you know who he is? Somebody that created life and death. And you are telling him that it's a gentle God. Look at that, look at. Let Jonathan and me look at. Everybody I see from there. The word is natural. See it.
Mazi, your network is poor. I have somebody on standby. Caller on direct line, please go on. Caller on direct line, can you hear me? Please go on, please. Go on.
Very much for this. My name I'm from Obaka. I'm calling from Spain. Actually, actually contributing.
That's why you
Hebrews. I want Hebrews. Not Israel. I want Hebrews naturally. The thing I in the Kuba, he had Megasene about 200 years ago, 100 years ago. So I equal about 300 years ago, 400 years ago. All the company our director put us when you do Serena. No, na I ga na back to try na I ga build to temple ebe a ga no let better. So onwe him talk and water na party by party side agency aye nwo ho ayadaza nwosu ayadaza ihe gbasa aha ya ayadaza nwosu na aha esi ma Anambra State dem be local government umoji ayadaza nwosu na aha but ihe ọzọ chọrọ ikwu na yawo ihe o nwere ihe anyị na-eme so onwe ha na-akpọ agwụ like ndị a na-asị go eze mmụọ ebe ka ha na-esi abụ na ha point agwụ ọ na-awa agwụ ụmụazị like na Bible na Samuel mgbe agwụ ọ mara Samuel mgbe mamia delicate ya na chọọchị ọ nọ na nke Levi ọ nọgide ebe ahụ ntị Chineke kpọọ ya o wee bido zawa ụjọ tụwara ya mgbe a kpọrọ ya but o mechara asị ya ihe obi si ka o wee za wee si ya Chineke wee zie ya ozi so otu aka ọ dị anyị nwere ndị osu anyị nwere ndị ihe a na-akpọ osu na be anyị enweghị osu anyị anaghị enwe osu ya dịka ebe 300 years ago anyị nweghị osu ihe anyị nwere wụ ihe osu anyị hụrụ wụ ihe ọ bịara anyị abịara ozi mgbe anyị mmehie bịarutezere ribe anyị ka anyị nwewere osu oge mbụ na-awụ mmadụ mee ihe na be anyị a na-ejide ya jisie ya ike even onwe mgbe afọ na-eto mmadụ ga-eme ya bete enwe ihe na-aza ndị agwụ onye agwụ mara agwụ na-ama n'ụmụazị na-ama n'okenye agwụ na ụmụazị ka ọ na-ama beta a na-awabe echi tuo ya epushuo ya ka kịta ha nazi emezie ya agwụ mma mmadụ ọ ga-eme ihe mmụọ agwụ mma mmadụ akwụ ihe eme ndị ha agwụ mara wu Levi's ahụ a na-ekwu ya the Levi's so the Levi's a ụfọdụ ndị ha agwụ mara ebe awụ emezie ha ka na ọrụ ụmụazị ahụ ọ ga-aka na-ekwu kpọsa ha na nke isi mmụọ ọ na-azụ ha mgbe isi mmụọ ga-anwụ from Levi's ahụ Chineke chuzukwa from ndị ahụ onye ga-esi ya so no all from the Levi's bụ ndị ha agwụ mara gosa agwụ ahụ na-ama ha ọ na-ama ha ọ na-enye ha gift dị iche iche agwụ mmadụ ise anaghị eme ofu ihe ị ga-ahụ onye o meghere anya ị na-afụ akwụkwọ ga-agwọ mmadụ, onye o meghere anya ị na-asị ya ị na-eme interpret ihe ga-eme echi. Onye o mere o nweghịgasị ha nwegasị gift dị iche n'iche, and otu ahụ ka eze mmụọ na-ekwesị eyuzikwa ha n'ụlọ ebe ahụ ebe ha nọ wee na-azụ ha. So but kịta anyị na-emezi onye agwụ mara ewere ya du ya n'ime du ya na mmụọ like daba anyị ọgbaba n'ọhịa sikwa n'ọhịa pụta edegharị obi owuru dibịa eze mmụọ agwụkọ dibịa, eze mmụọ na anyị nwakpọwara ya dibịa na eze mmụọ ihe na onye agwụ mara abụrụ dibịa. Onye agwụ mara gift of God Chineke nyere anyị iji wee na-agwọ onwe anyị ọrịa na-asọvụrụ onwe anyị problems na-abịakwute anyị. But ugbu a like ike a na-ekwu ihe a na-ekwu ihe gbasara osu enwere ihe dị anyị enwere osu, and anyị enwere ihe a na-asị like the family nkịta o nwere mmụọ nọ na family m. Anyị enweghị natural like ọ dịghị organic, ụmụ anyị nwere na family anyị adịghị organic. Ebutere ya ebute and ebutere ya for ọmụmụ mgbe anyị na-enwe problem ọmụmụ, and ihe na nke ya ebutere ọwụ ihe dịka ebe 150 years ago ebutere ya amụọ mmadụ ya nwụọ, amụọ nwa ya nwụọ, ị ga-abute ọmụmụ ahụ tizie ya na the family megharịa ihe a ga-emegharị ya obido amụzie nwa anọrọ. But ugbu ọ ka dị ebe ahụ. So ihe ndị ahụ ihe bịachara anyị bịara a lot of things ka anyị tinyere n'isi onwe anyị, confusion dị too much n'ebe anyị nọ. Anyị bi na anyị ka na-akọ anyị nwa na ọwụzi sọsọ chọọchị ibi ma ndị ewu ndị si na ha na-eme because our directors na anyị ga-na-achị otu anyị dị mbụ ịfụzi ndị dibịa ha pụta nke asị na awụ mama mmiri, nke asị na awụ ndị mmiri, nke asị na awụ dibịa everything, ihe niile confusion everywhere. So achọrọ m ka anyị bidokwa n'anya ihe gbasara kedu ihe wụ agwụ, kedu ndị agwụ mara, kedu ihe ha wụ, because onwebe onye kwutere okwu ya ebe a. Ndị ahụ agwụ mara wụ the Levites, ebe a ka esi etrenụ ha ka ahụ toyi ya mara ihe mara ịta akwụkwọ niile ahụ ọ na-aga ozi. Ọwụghị osu adịrọ na be anyị, osu ihe niile hụcha confusion. So ọhịa m sị ka m kwuo thank you, unu na-agbalị nnukwu, ana m ege unu na-agbalị. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, you know, here is just like our rallying point, parliament, whereby, you know, we stir up a conversation. People should understand what we are doing. We stir up a conversation so that people will go deeper, so that people will take it up, because we say it on air. All that we do is to stir up some things we see as our problems as a people, not individual, as a people. Now we make more researches. People will go deeper, profoundly, in order to find out. Because when you try to look, you see. You understand? When you try to look, when your mind is in something, you see. You catch it up. You can see. That is what we are saying. So, I have a caller waiting on WhatsApp, on Signal. Okay, WhatsApp has been there before you. Caller on WhatsApp, welcome to the program. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Mazi Jonathan, good evening.
Yeah, well, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mazi. Nwada, Haider, I thank you. I appreciate you for the good work. Mazi, I remain Mazi Emmanuel. I'm calling from city of Paris. I remain the zonal coordinator of Paris zone. Mazi, the area, particularly the area I just wanted to put my own contribution is to redirect some of our people who are arguing that there is nothing like God, or there is nothing like Chukwu Okike Abiama, or there is nothing like Creator, that whosoever that created us made a mistake. No. I totally oppose on that. Because of what?
I really believe, to me, I believe that there is someone who created this very universe that we are living. Someone is in charge. Whether it's a spirit, whether it's a breeze, whether it's a tree, whether anything it may be, we don't know. But we know that is a creator. Some people may argue, say, okay, why should a creator create human beings like black people who are brainless, who are not reasoning, who are totally out of reasoning, out of competitions that is going on in this very earth? To me, I can say that all human beings are equal because we have the same way of reasoning. We have two eyes. White people have two eyes. We have the same brain. We have the same blood. We have everything. But I believe that Chukwu Okike Abiama created every race on their own way of life. The way they should live, the way they should maintain their culture, the way they should structure their own way of life, which we Biafran people, we had our own. When you, for example, when we come into zoo called Nigeria, when the white people came into our land, why didn't our own ancestral fathers resist or insisted that our own culture should never be tampered, or our own way of life should never be tampered? Maybe they should give us their sugar, their whiskey, their everything, but they should allow our own way of life. We don't want to follow their own way of worshiping. We want to retain our own. That is called dignity, and that is called value of itself. When you look at the North, today we are praising the North, that the North rejected Western education. They rejected, they said Boko Haram is against the Western education. But when you went back to their real story of Nigeria, from their ancestors, they rejected it. They negotiated and they pleaded to maintain their own way of life. They should do anything in Nigeria, do anything, but this their culture, please do not tamper with it. This is our own way of life. Mazi, if you take us, I can borrow a word from our leader. Our leader said that we, the Biafrans, we are different. If you do the same thing that others, Western world can bring their own. If they are worshiping idol, worshiping anything, it may go successful with them. But you, if we worship, do the same thing that they are doing, it may, just like a telephone without a SIM card or without network, a smartphone will become useless. That is the same way Biafrans are in Nigeria. We are like smartphone without network. Do you see the problem we are facing in Nigeria? Our ancestors never valued enough our way of life.
Mazi, let me. Can I come in here?
Mazi, I'm listening.
Yeah, okay. I understand what you are trying to say. You know, sometimes out of frustration, we can blame, you know, people that we are not supposed to blame. You understand? There are conquests everywhere, right from the word go. There are conquests. You know, I told you, I said this, that I've been saying it and everybody knows. Britain, England was conquered by the Roman Empire at the early time. And later on, it is still English people, later generation, that delivered them, that fought for their freedom and delivered them. A conquest is not easy. When the British, the Europeans came to our land, they used every means, all of their all their weapons, both physical arms and soft arms, both money, both their goods, European goods, everything, both mentally. They use everything. It was not easy. You're supposed to understand about the Kumekus. They resisted physically. It is not easy to conquer. It wasn't easy to conquer our people. But once it is done, it is done. Now it is for us. That is why we are doing what we are doing. So that although our ancestors succumbed to superior power and they become conquered, now we in this generation, we understood, and we are to take back what belongs to us. Israel, you are seeing today, they were conquered thousands of years back. It was only in 19th century that they started this Zionism that led to their going back in declaring Israel in 1948 of yesterday. Since thousands of years back. Does it mean that their ancestors didn't resist? They resisted. But they were subdued by superior forces. It is normal. But what is not normal is to remain on conquest forever. That is why we are doing what we are doing, in order to remove ourselves from this conquest, because it is harming who we are as a people. It is harming us as a people. We shouldn't continue like this, running from pillar to post, rigmaroling all around the world as people, as sheep without shepherd. That is why we are counting what is the problem, and we are asking questions, and that is why we are doing what we are doing, in order to bring us back so that we fight for our liberation. What has happened has happened. You cannot change history. You cannot reverse back maybe 15th, 17th century. It is impossible. But what are we doing at the situation? That is what matters most, and that is what we are doing. Mazi, please go on.
Mazi, what you just said is totally, you are totally on point. But you see, they say that the advice you give to yourself as a people or as a person or as a race is the best advice. You see, our people in Nigeria Union, the Union of Nigeria has brought into us a very disastrous memorial, if I may use such words. It's such memorials, because sometimes you will be asking yourself, we are the brunt bearers in Nigeria. We are not only sustaining the Nigeria Union, we are sustaining the world. Upon all those things, our people are still less concerned of the situation of our land, the situation of our people, the situation of what we are passing through. But we have to ask ourselves the truth, the bitter truth. We have to know that this thing that has happened to us is not ordinary. I cannot say that some people do us juju or do us or cast a spell on us. No, I don't believe on such. I believe that we have missed road from somewhere, and such a place is where IPOB has. Because I normally heard you say that Nnamdi Kanu and the IPOB started picking us from pieces from our, that is where we have already been in the dustbin. From the dustbin to where IPOB is just picking our people from dustbin to try to reset our people. And that is what we are in today. Mazi, the religious have done us a lot. Yes, we agree. But our people also fully and indirectly and directly contributed on what is happening to us. Mazi, are you telling me that the killings that is going on in Nigeria, the killings that's going on, the killings of the Christians, so-called Christians in Nigeria, because I know that Yorubas are not Christians, they are not Muslims. Biafrans in real sense are not Christians. Christians they brought it to us. Because if we were really Christians from the beginning, Pope, even Europe, this Rome we are seeing, they were not Christians. They were conquered. They brought the Christianity to them too. But they refined their own and they took it to Africa, and they refined themselves and took it to Africa and used it to confuse Africans. Unfortunately, they confused Biafrans too. Then now, the whole thing now divided us till up to the last families in our own land. If you enter a family, I'm not talking of a community or a village or in anything, just in a small family, you see that the same Christianity have divided all of them, make them to be thinking in different ways, hating each other. Who are we going to blame on all those things? We have to blame ourselves. We should stop blaming white people. We have to blame our own stupidity. That is our own stupidity for not understanding that this thing that these people, no foreigner will ever love you more than you yourself. Or no foreigner will show you your own brother or your own sister or your own relatives. It is our own selves that cause all these things that is happening to us today. Nnamdi Kanu have said it, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He has mentioned all these things that we Biafrans, we are different. That if we do the same thing that Yorubas are doing, the same things that Europeans are doing, the same things that others are doing, others may go free, but we can never go free from that, because we have everything that the whole earth is envious of. They will deploy everything to make us to miss our own track. Mazi Jonathan, you people have done wonderful to us, Mazi. I want to appreciate you and our dear sister. Please, I want to tell both of our sister from America to remain strong, stand firm, resist every temptations. As people are listening to your voice, They may be coming up with different ideas, different opinions, different ways, different things. Please, our sister, remain firm. You people are doing us proud, and we are proud of you. The Biafran people are proud of you people.
Mazi.
Thank you very much, Mazi.
Thank you. Thank you.
Shall be well with you.
There. Caller on direct line as we are winding down. Nwada. Caller on direct line, can you hear me? Welcome to the program. Caller on direct line, can you hear me? Go on, please. Go on.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Go on, please.
Mazi Jonathan. Gena Nwada China. Unu ga-eje n'igwe. Na ọ bụrụ na eluigwe. Ọ bụrụ na ọ dịghị. Unu ga-anọ ka nka. Unu ga-eso na ndị ga-eso kete oke nke ụwa. Ihe nwere ikwu unu na-emekọta n'ihe nno niile unu kwesịrị ime. Onye na-ekwu ihe ahụ ọnụ mmanwụ kwọ ogbutuo na n'aka ana m arụ na-ekwu ọbịa. Onye nwere ntị nụrụ ozi ọma unu jiri. Ma ndị na-ata nna nna anyị bụ ụta, o meghị onye anyị ga-ata ụta, omume anyị ka anyị ga-ata ụta. Ma ejighị n'aka, ọ ga-enwe ebe anyị nọrọ mejọ Chukwu okike abịama. N'ihi nke a, ọ gbakọta anyị azụ. Ọ dị ka ọ gbakọtara anyị azụ, anyị naghị enyo ndị ọcha were bịa, were kpọrọ anyị niile. Biko, ekene ka nsị ka nkene unu, Chukwu dobe unu ndụ. Chukwu gọzie onye ndu Chukwu gọzie ndu anyị Maazị Nnamdi Kanu. Onye dị atọ bụ Senti Nnamdi Kanu. Onye Chineke wepụtara ka ọ gbapụta anyị n'ohu ndị ọcha, n'ohu ụmụnne anyị bere anyị ndị efurefu. Ọ bụrụ taa ka o bidoro. Chukwu gọzie unu niile n'otu n'otu. Ise.
Ndewo Mazi. Ndewo. Thank you very much. From the call. Gozikwage. Caller on signal. Can you hear me? Welcome to the program.
Mazi Jonathan, good evening, sir.
Ndewo Mazi.
My sister from US, Chukwu Goziegi, I greet you, ma.
God bless you.
First of all, my name is Mazi Fangi. I'm calling from my location. May God bless our leader. May God bless our HODs, DOS. May God bless all IPOB members all over the world, genuine ones. Mazi, the topic of this night is very, very wonderful. Mazi, things have gone wrong. Many things have gone wrong. Ma nke anyị metụrụ onwe anyị, ma nke anyị natara ndị ọcha. Ihe na-eme anyị ihe niile a. Mazi, I could remember mgbe ndị obere. Mother dies when a child was born. The first thing, ya nọ na township ka a mụrụ nwa ahụ. Maybe the child was born in township. The first thing before the naming ceremony of that child, a ga-ewere aha nwa ahụ gaa village, send the ndị nọ na village. Ya nọ, maybe your parents or your mother or your family is in the village. They will send the name of, they will inform them and they tell them that my wife has been put to bed. The next thing I remember, uru ọnụ etiwe mkpu, that is mma gị ahụ ma anybody m na-eji mee your mother in the village, etiwe mkpu, tiwe uru ọnụ, ndị mmadụ agbazute ebupụta nzu. But this time around, all these things are noisy. Before ete powder, a ga-ebu ụzọ bupụta nzu nwa ọfụrụ a na-aracha, a ga na-etekwa powder. And during that time, o nwere this kind of crime anyị na-enweta in our land now. I don't know that time, because when a child being born our people during that olden days ga like ịjụ ese mara onye lọrọ ụwa ahụ, mara ihe onye ahụ mere, mgbe ọ nọ n'ụwa nke mbụ ya na onye ahụ mere ihe arụ bifo ya nwụọ bịaghachite ọzọ, a ga-achọpụta ya. Mgbe ahụ a na-abụdaịza onwe ndị be a na-akpọ ịgụ aha ka a mụrụ onye lọrọ ụwa. All these things now, white men have taken it over from us. But it's very, in short, very, very bad for our people allowing themselves to adopt the tradition of white people. And that's why if Biafra did not come, ya na-enweta Biafra nke taa na nke echi. But as I'm telling you, before, maybe from now to more 50 years to come, a crime ị ga na-enweta na our side, ị ga na-ajụ ndị nna nna anyị ha ịdị ihe mere n'oge nke ha. Because this time around, people have failed to do the right thing by, finding out how the child and who come in that time of that child. Let's say amụrụ nwa ọfụrụ, the kind of person, whether or not the person committed a crime before ya nwụọ, whether or not the person jere zuori akpụ atụ ya na-arịsị before ya nwụọ, whether or not the person jere di na nwaanyị mmadụ before ya nwụọ ọ lọta ụwa ọzọ, maybe o nwere second opportunity, second time to come back again because a na-alụ ụwa alụ. They will not find out. Ya mana amụgo nwa. Mazi, I don't want to waste much of our time. But ihe nna yo gị Mazi with our mom, let's continue educating our people. This topic is very, very wonderful. It's due to that I don't have enough time and you are about to close. If not, I would have emphasized on more on this topic. But nevertheless, let's continue educating our people, telling our people that we are not doing it right, that something is about to go, something have already went wrong. But I thank God for the emergence of IPOB and the Radio Biafra where this kind of topic are being treated. I'm advising and urging our people to always bring their children closer to Radio Biafra every Saturday for them to learn what they're supposed to know. Because if you are not born around something 1970 or 1980 something, you won't know all these things. You wouldn't down maybe 2000, year 2000, year 2000, year 2001. You can't know all these things. But by bringing our children close to Radio Biafra every Saturday, they will learn more and more things. Mazi, we don't learn this stuff from here. Others can chip their end. Good night for.
Thank you very much. I will pick the last caller. Caller on WhatsApp, you be the last caller, please. You have been here
okay.
7 minutes.
Jonathan.
There,
my sister, Haider.
Hey, my sister, God bless. It's always refreshing to hear a fellow woman calling. I appreciate you highly.
I'm calling from London. My name is Chinedu from London. So, yes, Matunya, the person who called before, who was blaming our forefathers. This our leader teacher that is why all these saboteurs to me although our IPOB family is taking here easy, I try my sister Haider na media, they tried lay her this flood ne kwabata una na eweji ha na kwabata una na eweji the flood ka hafu iburu anyị. Our leader gwara anyị na ọ saboteurs ndị mere ha ọjọọ oge ahụ. Ịma ndị Igbo anaghị egbu mmadụ ime ha ọjọọ, ha make either excommunicate or esend ya on exile. Asị na ndị ha niile mere esendere ha on exile, chụpụ ha gawara n'Nguta. Ndị ọcha, ndị arụmanụ, ihe ha mekwe ma taa ebe ha gadara je kpọta ha ọnwa mere ha ga-je narọ Chukwu. Ọnwa nyere ndị ọcha aka were defeat anyị. Ọkwa our people, ha used our people to defeat us. So here ndị a chọrọ ime na IPOB mana ha metiri their Waterloo because dị more than wise this time. Anya onye ọbụla dị ka na-eke ọkụ ma n'abalị ma ihe na-enyo all these saboteurs. Ma ọrụ our leader ya sị gị o nwere the way history repeat onwe ya. So ihe m chọrọ ikwu n'ime okwu a sị ha hụrụ ha our leader they didn't ndị eyuzuru anyị nwa ji defeat anyị nwa. Onye ọbụla chọfụrụ na IPOB ya gbaba na top pilot gaji ekwu rubbish ebe ahụ. So exactly what happened to us that time. Another thing in Chariku, sister Mama Tungeshe, only Henry recently, sister, since Kotia Yoho Basakwara, Mr. One book somebody did. No, the man and now power many things. Mama Tungeshe sent the Bro Jonathan, now you are this thing some time ago. But a man may own a line in Sandria. Hello, brother. I think I send the Koya Zuba. I send Diana this WhatsApp line and
no, I'm going to receive it.
Get check here so that you may discuss all this. And this is exactly when they were. Ndị Igbo ahụ na ọwụ today ka ebidoro gbuo ndị Igbo otele. In that book asịghị na ndị this romance anyị ga na worship na adịdị mma anything gbasara ha ahụ the first people bịara otele gbuo ha not today otele. So kono gụọ ya so that we may discuss it. Ana m send gị that thing.
There was.
Yeah, Jishanike, Sister Maria. Jishike.
I recognize your voice very well. You're a very resilient woman. I recognize your voice.
Of course.
I remember I get a before. I appreciate you. I love your strength. I love your straightforwardness. Your you believe in equity and fairness. I thank you. It's always good to hear your voice. God bless you, woman.
Thank you. Well, Jonathan, I'm going to send you this.
Okay.
Yeah, now so that. Yeah, bye.
There. Thank you very much. Okay, this is where I'm going to stop. The switch off the phones. Nwada, please, can you come in and make your parting remark, please?
Well, I'm going to be brave because I'm looking at this now here. I just to Bengu because this topic is huge. So we're going to, I believe that we're going to run series on them, bring in deal, strongly on this. I mean, what I mean by that, bring in more information. Because from my perspective, what I'm trying to establish that the little research I have made, some articles I read, and I went back. Osu is not supposed to be a castigating word. It was not supposed to be a derogatory word. But because something happened somewhere, and then just like these days, if you pay attention, even in America here, when a child is smart, they will tell the person you're a nerd.
Nwada, are you still there?
Stop this, sorry. So I was saying that even in America here where I am, one of the trending things now that if you are in a school and you're smart, They bully you and call you a nerd. So you ask yourself, is it not good to, is being smart a bad thing now? But that's what they're projecting. And they're getting, the people these children that are doing this, they're getting in the majority. They will bully the smart ones. If the smart ones are not smart, they will join them and become, refuse to read their books and do the academic works. So, but we must know that being smart is the reason why you went to school. So my mind is telling me somewhere along the line, something happened over years, because we are talking about a civilization that have been more than 500,000 years. I know why I called you, because some people might think at 200 years. No, 100,000 years. So when did this caste system start? There was a brother that spoke, and he spoke rightly. And I'd give an example. When my people, Umunnoha, came to the place we reside today, it was not our original place. The people that were resident or the indigenous there were called Umukochi. But because we left Arochukwu during that crisis, we came to a place in River State. We still have our ancient buildings there in River State as I speak, called Ozuzu. After a while, they left Ozuzu and then came to this place we have been for some 100 years now or so. And before they settled, what they used to do, from what I heard, from the elders, when you get to a new place, you will first of all consult the oracle, make inquiries. Is this place going to bless us? Is that where we settle? That was why my people, when they left Arochukwu, they stopped at Isialangwa. They stayed a little while. Something made them to leave. Probably they were told no. They left, most likely. Then they found themselves at Ozuzu. Stayed at Ozuzu for some years. They left until they got to this place and consulted the oracle. And they were told to stay. They started staying. That's how they derived their name, Umunne Oha. Even though they later on dominated the people. Because one of the primary things that was important to them was to establish that deity, Igwekala. They perform rituals. So there are people, like I said, Umazaleke, that are the custodians up till as I speak to you today. They are the ones that oversees everything that has to do with that deity. They are Osu Igwe, that's what they are. But they are held in high esteem. So, but somebody might start looking at them now, down on them. And if that continues, and the way is paid, that is, if somebody start castigating Igwe Kala, which they have tried, the church people. There's an uncle of mine who tried to go to near one of the, not the main Igwe forest, to try to cut it down. He got, what I'm telling you are live stories. He became sick. This was one of the first multimillionaire we had in my town. He became sick. He lost all his businesses, lost his marriage, lost his first son. In fact, he died in Washington, D.C. here. He went mental. I couldn't believe this man. The moment he touched that thing. So what I'm trying to say here is there were rituals that people were performing in those days before they were settled at a particular place. And those deities or that deity they consulted or established, they're a group of people that is handed over to them, became their duty to make sure that everything that the deities required were right. When I say we go back and review who we are, there were certain things that ancestors did. They were not right. They have to evolve, just like every other society. What we are calling for, let us research, find out really who we are. And then those things that were not, will not help us in advancement to catch up with others, we let them go. But those things that would have helped us and make us to be that unique person we are, we promote them and hand them over. Because even as we speak, our dialect, our culture, our language is going into extinct because there are no custodians. The so-called Ihanese, this is one of the things they were supposed to do. If they were really doing it, they're supposed to be coming up with new words of our dialect, injecting new, life into it. Our language has been dormant. Anything that is stagnant dies. So we have to go back, find out who we are, take those things that are good that can project us to go further and catch up with the whole world. Let's pay attention. The same white people some of us are attributing to who brought the religion to us. They maintain their own monarchy. They maintain their own spirituality. Why do we have to abandon our own? Why is it that we think that everything about us is so dark? Meanwhile, we are older than most of them. So some of the things that even culture that are performing today They learned them from us. They took them from us. I'm going to end by saying this. You know, when people castigate dark, black. When I was a cosmetologist for a long time, cosmetologist. I was a master color. I took a class in master color, and something provoked my thought the day I was taking that class, my final class. You know, when it comes to the color black have 3 primary colors: red, yellow, and blue, and these are all natural occurring colors. You can get them in nature. When you add equal amount of red, blue, and yellow or orange, you will get black. But out of this black, every color in this life are involved in black. You can put any color you want from a dark substance. So if we have variations, and I used it to, I gave a little seminar on it when in church. If you believe, if you know, just like you look at, you have all these diversified colors, coloration of human beings. All of them originated from dark. So that tells you that dark people or black people were the very first people. Out of them, all these series of colors, whether you call them Caucasian, you call them Indian, you start seeing the shades of life of man. And history is proving that yes, civilization, what you call humanity, started from Africa. We have not been able to narrow exactly the place, because one of the research in this thing I read last night is placing even our people back before Egyptian civilization, way before the Stonehenge. We're talking about 500,000 years that have been existing there. Okay, so these are the things we need to find out. How did they live? What happened? If there was a disruption, where did it start? When did corruption come? Even in the Jewish culture we're talking about, when Yeshua came according to the Bible, he came because those Levites, corruption came into them. There was corruption. They left what they were supposed to do, started doing some other things. And that was what he preached against them. He said, I have come to set the crooked way straight. That's what we are trying to do. Let's find out where our ways went crooked and correct them. There is a force, I believe there is a higher force called God. I'm a living example, a witness. So anybody who thinks there is no God, there is God. But our ways are not his ways. And again, we have drifted away from him because we are all caught up with modern civilization. How many of us have time to sit down and even have 30 minutes prayer or engagement with God? Let's be honest to ourselves. Most of the time, even when we go to church on Sunday, you will tell your daddy G.O. to pray for you. Your daddy G.O. is busy, traveling, doing other things. He doesn't even have time to pray for himself. How can he have time to pray for you? Ask yourself the question. Even the reverend fathers and reverend sisters, they were supposed to be set aside to be praying. They abuse it, trying to make money. Crusade and all that. When did they pray? You are asking one person to pray for 200 people when he can't even pray for himself. But meanwhile, we don't have people dedicated when it comes to our own traditional, religion that can be set aside just like every other religion, and let it be their job to be interceding on our behalf, and not just our behalf, our environment, our society. We need that. That's what we're talking about. We must get it right. And I strongly believe as we get into ROC, Dibia, Abara, and all that, because we're going to touch them, we begin to see what the meaning of Osu, as I try to establish, is a title, is a kind of something that depicts the dedication of those people who have been set aside. You can call them Levites. Levites is English. That's the English word. I'm asking anybody who wants to challenge this, what is the meaning of Levites in Igbo dialect? It's not priest. Priest is not Igbo. What do you call them? They are not Dibia. Dibia is an entirely different thing. So, who are these people? The Levites are not Dibia. They are not healers. They are custodians. So, in Igbo language, those who want to challenge the argument, I would like them to come up in our next lesson and tell me what is the meaning of Levite in Igbo dialect. It is Osu. I will conclude here for now. God bless.
Nwada, thank you very much. Sometimes people might not understand what we are trying to achieve here by trying or pushing us into digging into history. Without knowing your past or your history, you don't know, even you will not know where you are going to. You know, Egypt today is in the forefront of the world, the historical issues or whatever you call it. The pride of Egypt today, Egypt, is their rich history. Though the population change due to conquest, the people you saw in Egypt today, they were not the main Egyptians. Arab invaded Egypt at the coming of Prophet Muhammad in 7th century. That was when Egypt and other North Africans were invaded. And what they did there, they pushed down the real indigenous people, which are the black people. They pushed them down south and they slaughtered most of them and they took over, because that is how they behave. Now, Egypt, as I said, their pride is their history. And without them digging, without archaeologists digging, they will not find out, they will not find things. What we do here is to push us into digging our history, our historical past, that will help us, because it will surely help us to sharpen ourselves, you know, to structure ourselves, our present selves. When you understand that maybe your great-grandfather is or was a heavy wrestler in the village, is a Buago. You, the grandson, you use it as reference. That is, it becomes a source of pride for you. But when you don't know these things, you will not even know. You become ignorant. You understand? You will not even react where you should. You don't know how to react where you should react as the great grandson of Obuago. Do you see why we are doing what we are doing? Because in our land things fell apart. We allow people, foreigners, to come and scatter our brains. They made us to hate what we should love and to love what we should hate, to the extent that they want to even convince us to jettison our identity. It is very sad. You know, to the extent, you know, when we talk all these things, it is not a day job. They use everything. I could remember the time when, once you become a Pentecostal pastor in Nigeria, before you know, you travel to America. Do you see how they attracted people? Through money. They give people money to set up churches. Money was flowing from Europe, from America. All these are soft ways. So for somebody to make a living, now he has to succumb to the ideology of the foreigners, one way or the other, and support them. Say, but this is exactly how they got us. But now we are matured enough in order to think back. As Nwada said, this is just a tip on the iceberg. We will continue researching, and we challenge our people, listeners, Biafrans, to dig more deep. You know, our leader, he taught us something. Sometimes he will be broadcasting and say, bring your computer or your smartphone, log on. He will bring a topic, he say, go now and Google, and everybody will be busy googling, researching. That is one of the best things that happened to us, to study. You cannot try to replicate or keep an ideology or a tradition or the values without valuing them. I don't know whether people understand. Before you try to teach people, try to put value on a tradition, you must value that tradition. You must make people like it, value it. Now, before you profess it. I used to watch sometime one of our brothers. I used to watch him on social media. All those time, a few years back, because of the awakening of our leader, brought by our leader, these brothers will carry the microphone. You know the way they preach, they do crusade, carry megaphones and the speakers. Sometimes you go to public places. I cherish that our brother. Even that I used to watch him that time, few years back. He will carry speaker where Ishiago start preaching our menala openly in the marketplaces. So that is the good thing that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has started. Let us just judge our behavior, the results we are having in our land. They brought all this Christianity, everything, gongo, churches everywhere, everybody born again, Catholic, Anglican, this and that, carrying Bible. Does that eliminate criminality in our land? The answer is no. Instead, it increases. Now, you ask yourself, now, what is the problem? We are in a wrong, I buying in a one chance. Honestly, we are in a wrong car. That is why we want to, bring us back, bring ourselves back, restitution, to bring our minds back, so that we can start again, because the road we are going wasn't good. Otherwise, we will go into extinction. I'm telling you. When they said, I think one United Nations body said that the Igbo language can go into extinction in the next 75 years, as of that time, maybe 10 years back, people thought that it is a joke. We see it today. We see it today. When even our people publicly deny who they are, it is very sad. Therefore, this also, while other people cherish their own, you go to maybe Cambodia or monastery, Buddhist monks, they are being respected. People that are dedicated to the service of their God. Catholic everywhere, things the same even in our land today. But in our own case, they first of all demonize our traditional worship, that it is evil. Now everything associated with it, whether doctor, dibia, whether dibia now, as far as you is traditional, is evil. Don't you see that there is a pattern of our destruction they are pushing us to? That is why our leader took it as a duty, in order to try to reverse this type of tragedy that is happening to us as a people. We have to cherish who we are and our values. We don't need foreigners in order to standardize, give us the standard of who we should be. No. The only thing about values and tradition is the ability to change, absorb things that you should. Like I read about the Levites. They have Levites, school of Levites today. It was not so in the olden time. But they use their brain as human beings in order to change change with time, in order to restructure their thing, because they are human beings, they have brains. In our own, we condemn everything, and we allow people to be deceiving us. Pastor Suleiman, brain saved him. Work of man saved him. Bulletproof car saved him. But he will come out in the church tomorrow and start dancing and say God saved him. And you see gullible zombies, they believe, because he's a man of God. It's very sad. Stop being deceived. We are never telling you that there is no God. Never. Even nature will make you, like somebody said, that science even proof that there is God, because the way things are being structured naturally. Sometimes why is a human being, why are you growing, you born a child, maybe you weigh 4 kilos only, and it will continue growing, all of us, every one of us, continue growing uniformly. There is no way only head will be growing, only head will be growing and the other side will not be growing. There is no way only hand will be growing. There is no way intestine will long and start coming out. Disorderly. No. Everything is uniform. The hormones, everything is controlled. Therefore, there is something, a force that set up all these things. That is the way I think. When we talk about, because some people, when they hear us, try to bring out castigations about, or maybe the Christian religion they impose on us, they thought that, we are against God. No, God is not a Christian. God doesn't have religion, for your information. Religion is a man-made. That's it. God is a different entity altogether. It is now man to explore how to reach there. That is, they form their own religion. This is how to reach there. This is how to reach that God. Just like as people, different countries. America, Russia went to the moon, went to space. It is not easy to build a vehicle that will get out of Earth's atmosphere. It is not easy. Russia built their own, they went. America built their own, they went. Other countries, China, they are building. So it might not necessarily mean the same thing. Or each one is building, but the end point is to travel to space. A vehicle that travels to space. That is religion. Space is there already. It doesn't care. It doesn't care what you build. It's there waiting to be explored. It's just like God. God is there. So anywhere you think that is the way you reach to God, okay, it's your own making. If you do it, it works for you, it's okay. It's okay. Why do then you have to demonize our own? And you worship foreigners own. Church of England is being controlled, modified to be controlled by British monarchy. Is that how it was made? No. Originally it was not like that. But the British, when he entered their hand, now they modify it to their own liking, using their own value. That is how it's supposed to be. So in our own side, we have to go back to our roots. That is what I want to say. This is where I'm going to finish. Where I'm going to stop. Biafra is our religion. Biafra is where we worship. Malami, there's something, one mind game is trying to play. He's saying Malami, the justice, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Minister of Justice, I don't know. There is one statement he made. These people are smart. Let me tell you. He said that, oh, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, it is only the Igbo governors that will decide on the release of whether Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be released unconditionally. It is governors, Igbo governors and politicians. He wants to tag, to bring us to be at war with our
fight
the
among us.
politicians.
Is a setup?
Yeah, that is exactly what he wants to achieve. Because they know that they thought that we
So we can destroy ourselves from inside out.
Yes. We start fighting. Oh, okay, Igbo governor. We are out, they are laughing. They are the people holding our leader. Now they tag it to the governors, to our politicians, so that we'll be fighting each other.
Yeah.
Do you understand? We know these people like, these people, there is a way they take us as very gullible set up. That we are gullible. Anything they just give us, we start with emotion, we start fighting. Hey, Igbo governors, hey, it's you. And they are fighting. And they are laughing. No. It is the decision is not on the Igbo politicians. The decision is on the caliphate, and the caliphate must release our leader, Malabi. They must release our leader. They don't need to put the internal war between us and. We know that our politicians are bad, but this time we understand their game. Thank you for listening. That's why we need to be thinking critically. That is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has made us to be critical thinkers. The things are not as straightforward as you might think. Before we use sentiment and think, and the people, they'll be laughing, they'll go their way. But now, no. This generation of IPOB, no, it's not like as they think it. Oh, Igbo people, they are just like that. Give them any slightest thing and they will kill themselves. No.
Yeah.
Our leader must be released. It is the caliphate that is holding our leader. Nobody else. Thank you for listening. Biafra is our identity. Biafra is our religion. Biafra is who we are. Without Biafra, we are nothing. We must continue in what we are doing. From me, Mazi Jonathan Chinedu, together with Nwada, Maria, and Haider, it is simply good evening.
Going back to my roots, reggae music is all that I need.
We, the indigenous people of Biafra, ably led by
Saint Mazi Nnamdi Kanu,
humbly called on traditional rulers, aka Ndeze, town union, churches, villages, kindreds, Ndiamala, and all paternal and maternal homes to hear our voice and hear our cry in this request to please do the needful now before it is too late. We ask all the people involved to try and bury all the corpses we scatter all over Biafra land. For this one, they should say it they bring us spiritual and physical problem, and now we they suffer, we don't know. When you know the root cause of the sickness, the treatment now don't dey easy. I beg my people.
Now we don't sabi the cause of the sickness. IPOB don't come with the solution.
The research wey you do show say some dead body don dey up to 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, and the death count na human being we go bury or na firewood. Everybody wey this one concern, we IPOB dey beg una, abeg make una do something no, because anybody wey person start the journey, when e never reach the destination, im heart no go come down. As we never bury our people, our heart never come down. All the obnoxious high burial demands, competitions, effigy from churches, Ndiamala, Omona, in-laws, maternal and paternal homes, wey dey cause this delay and wahala for our people. Abeg make una try do something. Na all these things dey cause dem dey build mortuary, like say dem dey build
joint,
church, filling station everywhere for Biafra land. Abeg, mortuary na factory, na children's amusement park? No. A stitch in time saves 9. We dey call therefore say make everybody try for 3 days wey your person kaput, make una bury am. After una go do the ceremony, una go do the effigy wey follow am.
Churches, traditional rulers, and other people that matters, abeg make una chook mouth and chook eye and help us for this matter.
Because the person when they pursue cow, they call him name. If you no hold the medicine, he go hold the thing when they dose the cow. Now with the call una. And the one una talk, he go stand. I beg my people, make we comot this danger, comot our people from bondage. If una no do something, we the indigenous people of Biafra under St. Nnamdi Kanu no go waste time to do the needful so as to remove the yoke and our people from bondage. And soonest we go begin the closure of many mortuaries for Biafra land. The only dead body when we want make it dey for mortuary, na the only one
we get case wey dem dey treat.
And after they don finish the whole thing, settle everything, make them bury am. Mortuary no be factory, mortuary no be industry, mortuary no be amusement park again, no be recreational center, no be children's park. Remember, person wey sell land burying dead body don bury 2 corpses. Shey you never know. Now we be the owners of the land, and we don tell una the time to cleanse our land na now. Make una do the needful. Our land go dey calm and our ancestors go happy wherever dem dey.
Na the indigenous people of Biafra under St. Nnamdi Kanu dey bring una